closes, doesn't it? It says right on it, don't auto-adjust auto air guider. I'm really happy I didn't read that until after I touched it and moved it with my hand.
Mm-hmm. We're just literally waiting on this thing to close because it's going to stop making sounds in a sec.
Just like it's like a fucking coach's whistle over here.
Sounds like the train's rolling into the station.
Yeah. Or any sequel of Halloween where there's too many crickets.
Those crickets are going wild.
They're fucking. It's springtime.
You guys hear those crickets out there?
You'll notice immediately that, and I can't speak for the rest of the world here, but in this section of Canada, spring lasted for a week and it rained the whole time.
Yup.
And now it's fucking summer, guys. It's been almost 30 degrees for a week.
Yeah, it's sweaty thigh weather, guys.
It's
Buckle
May.
up. Buckle up.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to keep pushing buttons until this air conditioner turns off.
Yeah, well, I did that in Tim's van recently, my boss's van. The sunshades. And I had my feet up on the dashboard because we drive for long periods of time and I want to be comfortable as fuck illegally.
As you do.
And so with my foot, I wanted to kick the sun visor out of my way. And I apparently kicked a little too hard and with too much force because I left a scratch on the windshield. Oof. And I broke the attachment for the sun visor. Now it's still attached. It's just cracked.
Oh my God.
So now we have to be incredibly careful.
And I hope your insurance covers that.
Oh, I don't even know if these
did you guys exchange informations?
My foot and the windshield and sun visor?
Yeah.
Well, it was really one-sided because I don't think they had insurance.
Yikes. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. And today's sponsor is Foot Insurance.
Get insurance exclusively for your feet. You know, some people say that having life insurance as you age is a good idea because it protects your money from being taken by the government when you die. That's a scam. The only insurance you need is for your feet and hands because those are registered weapons.
Or a porn star's working tools.
Yeah, unfortunate porn stars, though. Not the good ones.
Darkroastcult.com is the website. We don't have foot insurance.
No.
But you can listen to this podcast and you can also, buy coffee and buttons. Buttons, pins? They're not buttons. I feel like I called them buttons and that's disrespectful.
I mean, what's the difference?
Well, a button's like a little plastic thing and it puts two holes in your jeans when you put them near your crotch like a... Remember when that was a thing?
You know what that attachment is called, though?
Is it called a dingle?
It's called a pin.
My word.
Yeah.
Well...
So even the buttons have pins.
Well, then that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. A button is just a pin with a thing on it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we don't sell those. Can't get right here. Just can't get right.
Where's your lumbar support? I'm sure that blanket can't be providing much.
It doesn't. It doesn't provide much at all. And that's why you got to go to darkroastcult.com because we've got zero lumbar.
And we'll make you forget about your own back pain for at least a brief period of time.
Oh my God. I watched this movie this morning.
Yeah.
I had to rewatch it.
Yeah. I put a lot of attention and effort into watching it Sunday morning, despite the fact that I was exhausted and hungover. And I'd like to think that I've committed the majority of it to memory. A lot of my notes this week are like very nitpicky, because to be honest, and this is what I wanted to get out of the way right off the bat. Last week I called Gina Davis, who is the actress in this movie, Gina Gershon, and that's a very different person. I don't even know who Gina Gershon is. Yeah,
you just kind of said that name. And I'm like, I recognize that name.
Yeah,
that's probably a person.
God, it's some dumb beaver from like SCTV or something.
Is it?
What's that curly-haired, big-nosed woman who married Danny DeVito's name? I can never remember it for the life of me. Rita Perlman. Yeah. For some reason in my head, I always go to Elvira Kurt, who is a lesbian stand-up comedian. That's not even the same thing.
I was going to say Rita Rudner. So
okay, I don't know who Rita Rudner is, but I recognize the name.
That episode of American Dad where Klaus goes on vacation and he ends up hurting his back.
Yeah, and he's stuck watching the hotel TV preview.
I'm pretty sure it's a Rita Rudner concert.
Okay.
They're showing a preview for. And for those of you who have no idea what's going on, we're just talking about other things and stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's welcome to the podcast where we just ramble on incoherently.
There are no rules.
Well, I mean...
Until one of us has to shit really bad.
Yeah, and then we generally just rush and end the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the podcast, welcome to it.
Also, thank you, Andrew, for the theme song.
Yeah.
See, I hit it that time.
You did.
This is the first time in the history of the podcast where I thanked him first.
You just yanked the words correctly right out of my mouth.
Yeah, bro.
I had nothing to say other than
That motherfucker just posted a picture of him on like the driver's side of a van for some reason on Twitter.
Yeah, he did. With a sun hat or
yeah,
it was like a One Piece hat for all you animes.
I got news for you, Andrew. You look great.
So what movie did we do this week?
This week we watched a movie starring Jeff Goldblum and Gina Gershon Davis.
Davis.
Yeah, when she married Gina Gershon, she hyphenated her name to be progressive. That's a lie I just told. I just told a lie.
Yeah, you're just saying names.
Yeah. And a guy who I don't know his name, and I haven't seen him in a single movie before or since.
You know what? I think America got enough of him in this movie. You're talking about the boss character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had well in enough of that guy.
Yeah. So to segue into that, in order to sum this movie up in 2 sentences or less, what would you say?
Oh, what would I say?
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. It would be probably, it's one of the early ones. Just watch them all.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how that's relevant.
They do The Fly on that. They So, and it's the episode where Homer goes to like a yard sale that the scientist is having, and he's got the 2 teleporters, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm selling these, and he buys them. And what Homer does is he puts one in front of the fridge so he can like reach in and grab a beer.
Okay, I have a vague recollection of that part.
And then so Bart goes in with a fly, and 2 come out, and one's a fly with Bart's head, and one's Bart with a fly's head.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's coming together in my head.
So if you've seen that,
you gotta understand
seen this movie.
First of all, that's probably one of the earliest Treehouse of Horrors.
It is.
Because I don't remember it.
Hey.
I used to have this DVD of like, it was probably like 4 or 5 of them.
I think we had the same DVD.
We probably did. Those are the only ones. Those are the ones I remember best. They did 2001: A Space Odyssey when like they make their house into a future house.
Same episode, I think.
Is it?
If not, it's like one of the early ones like that.
Okay, well,
for sure.
Those are the only ones I remember anyway, and I can't. Fuck, I do remember Fly Bart because he had fly eyes.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe it was.
A proboscis.
It might have been the same one where Homer goes in behind the bookcase and he comes like into the 3-dimensional.
Right, and then he falls down a vortex into live action, and he's the one who's scared.
Yeah, and everybody's like just kind of looking at him like, oh.
If I saw a fully sentient and functioning independently man who appeared to be made out of Play-Doh, I would be upset.
Oh, I'd be taking chunks out of him. I just start punching him until I just get him as many times as I can before he eats me.
He looks squishy.
Yeah.
Maybe I can defeat him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we watched The fucking Fly, and my synopsis was Jeff Goldblum. What the fuck did I write? Let me just go through 4 pages of notes to see if I can find it. I wanted to add something else to it in my head. So I was like, I'm not going to write it out. And then I fucking did anyway. Anyway, Jeff Goldblum finds out how important it is to sterilize your fucking work environment when doing science experiments, but somehow manages to be not the biggest insect in the movie. And when I say that, what I'm saying is Gina Davis's boss in this movie is a fucking scumbag from beginning to end.
Oh,
he doesn't take a single day off from being a scumbag.
Not.
And also basically a stalker.
Yeah, no, he's 100% a stalker.
Who should have been charged with real crimes at some point in the movie.
Yeah.
Because he commits them.
Well, yeah, he breaks and enters.
Yeah,
I guess he doesn't break, he just enters.
Yeah, because he has a key.
That he
We're going to get into how pissed off I am about this fucking, that whole scene, because it happens twice in the movie and I'm pissed both times.
Oh, absolutely.
Still in my head.
Okay, all right, well, yeah, something you need to know about Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
If you don't know Jeff Goldblum, he's got one gear.
Yeah, he does.
And it's Dinosaur Scientist.
It's, Every movie where he's a scientist, he was the best person to be cast for that role.
Oh yeah. And this one is no different. It's just younger and more Jeff Goldblum-y.
Yeah. I really like that we did a movie from the 80s where they don't like hold your hand through the exposition at the very beginning. Last week, From Beyond, and then, or the week before, either way. The thing is, we did an 80s movie, From Beyond, where they just fucking throw you right into what's happening. And then in this movie, they do the exact same thing, but like more egregiously almost. You just get hit mid-conversation.
Yeah.
Between Jeff Goldblum, whose name is Seth Brundle.
Not to be mistaken with Grundle.
Yeah, no. That would be a very bad mistake to make.
Yeah, those are two different objects.
I guarantee you he got made fun of a lot in high school for having that last name.
Oh, yeah.
Seth Grundle. And Gina Davis's name is Veronica, so it
is it?
Yep.
Okay, I never once heard her name the entire movie.
Yeah.
So
her boss's name is Stathis.
I call her journalist and boss.
Okay, well that's fine.
Or reporter, maybe.
Stathis is like the most white neurobiologist name ever. And all he is a man who runs a journalist company in a shady way. His name sounds like an infection. Yeah, I got the Stathis.
Yeah, well, don't come near me.
Yeah.
That shit's airborne. I'm out of here.
So it's fucking Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, Seth and Veronica at some kind of CES for scientists.
It's like the very earliest like convention for like scientists who want to show off their mad scientist inventions.
And it takes all of 30 seconds during this conversation for Jeff Goldblum to invite her back to his house. Come back, I'll show you. We'll have cappuccinos.
And she's like, "Oh, you don't get out much." And then he says, "You can tell," which is the best answer. And I'm gonna start. If anybody ever says like, "Oh, you can tell," shit.
Now I'm horrified.
Great.
What is my dick hanging out of my pants? The first thing I notice about Jeff Goldblum at this age is that he's the most ripped scientist to ever exist.
Oh, yeah.
And he also has the most luxurious hair of any scientist ever.
And you know what? I don't think he blinks once.
He definitely blinks sparingly. There's a lot more blinking once he starts becoming a fly.
Well, yeah.
Because you got to wet those eyes. They're huge.
Oh, absolutely.
And also he smiles like a rabbit.
I'll give you that.
It's all upper teeth.
Yeah. The more you say it, I can just picture it now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for some reason, despite the climate, socially,
the creepiest man in the entire room.
Yes, with his wide eyes staring deep into your soul during an entire conversation one-on-one with a vulnerable lady.
Yeah.
It's like the only lady in the whole place.
He still manages to lure her back.
Yeah, she has no qualms. And I'll tell you, I wrote down so many red flags for you're not going to wake up in the morning. And it's just the first thing, dive right into come to my lab, not to my house. Come to my lab so I can show you something. Ooh.
Can you bring it outside?
Yeah. Can you bring it outside to the car?
Do you have a picture of it, actually?
He fucking loves his cappuccino machine, which is a level of obsession over coffee that I've only seen in people who run coffee companies such as darkroastcult.com.
Yeah, he doesn't know the brand name of his cappuccino machine. He just knows it's the one that the stores have with the eagle on top.
Yeah.
So, and he even brings the eagle up. He shows it.
Yeah.
Like,
so you care more about the eagle than you do about the cappuccino inside. It's fine. No worries. It's all good. As they're driving, they start to go into an industrial area.
Oh yeah, it's the kind of area where you double check your GPS.
Yeah. I have told a story on This Again about my English teacher in 12th grade who had a friend who went to, I believe, Peru, somewhere in South America anyway, took a taxi, was driven to an industrial area, into a parking lot that had a bunch of headlights just shining on the car as it pulled up. And a bunch of people standing outside waiting. He immediately knew what was going on, bailed out of the vehicle, ran home. At one point, though, he had to hop a barbed wire fence, cut his arm, and then hid in what he thought was a pond, but was actually sewer runoff.
Oh, And that's how you get the staphylococcus infection.
So, yep. And then he made his way to safety, hopped a plane home immediately because that's what you do when you have an experience like that.
Yep.
I need to get back into my own house and regroup
Yeah.
and try to find some semblance of goodness within the species that I'm a part of. On the airplane, the wound started to smell real bad. They made a pit stop at a hospital. He goes, the doctor goes, "That's the most infected thing I've ever seen."
Oh no.
So he had like sepsis at that point. He had to go like over like a ton of treatments and shit. All good. I'm never going to South. I'm sure Brazil is beautiful.
Oh, well, they've got, Christ the Redeemer there. You got those beaches, thongs on the beach.
If in order to get to the Thongy Beach and the Jesus statue that overlooks it, blasphemingly, I have to swat off like mosquitoes human traffickers, I'd rather not visit the place. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm sure Brazilians are great people. You live in a hellhole. Whoops.
You know what? Just give me VR Brazil.
Yeah.
I'll take VR Brazil.
Give me Cristo just on a headset.
Yeah, and as long as I can take it off once I get abducted, and that's that, it's cool.
Yeah. So that's why, and again, vulnerable young woman in the car with somebody who's taking you back to their lab.
Yeah.
And then you start to see like nuclear power plants and shit. Okay, well maybe this isn't the ride I'm trying to take right now.
For sure. Where are you leading me?
She makes like one comment about being a little bit uncomfortable, but then it's like, never mind, I'm good.
Yeah, she's got a couple qualms that are easily solved, I've noticed.
This lab is in a building that I know has one of those freight elevators with the huge gate that comes down.
Oh, yeah,
and like slams loudly.
Oh, for sure. With the like staircase that they climb up, for sure it has it.
If I see that shit the first thing that Jeff Goldblum does upon getting this woman into the lab in which he lives is sit down and play the piano like the Phantom of the fucking Opera.
He does.
I just met you tonight. I'm just going to start playing the piano now, though.
Menacingly.
Yeah. And like, but still.
Yeah. And then she's like, you know what? I'm out. Mm-hmm. And then he says probably the biggest red flaggiest thing is, I can't let you go. You've already seen it. Something like that. Like, you can't leave alive. You've already seen it.
Like he just had his penis out at the piano.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
So I just wrote down, this is the 7th point down the page, the rest were that. Rapist number 1.
Oh.
Because good God. So he's got these 2 telepods that he called, this is the only movie ever, piece of media where they're called telepods, for fuck's sake. I've never heard that before since.
No, but I mean, like, that's a good name for it.
It is. It's shorter than teleporter, so you're just being, feasible with your words there. He's trying to convince her that he can transport matter, inanimate matter. This is a very important note.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From one pod to another, and asks her for a piece of a uniquely personal item. And Veronica's first instinct is, oh, well, my pantyhose. I'll just bare my legs.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know anybody, and it's not like I talk to women about their pantyhose, but who considers pantyhose to be a personal item, a uniquely personal item? Like you're the only one dressing nicely for a dinner party.
At this point, old ladies.
Old ladies. Their pantyhose is so fucking important.
They're the only people who would wear them at this point. So old ladies.
Yeah, everybody else has gone to fishnets.
Have they ever?
Scene revival, Matt. Get on board.
If you haven't seen the movie,
yeah, I'm sure I skipped over some deets here.
Well, I mean, I just want to note that his lab is also his apartment, and this whole room looks like the set of Always Sunny.
Yes, yeah.
Green, dirty walls. It just looks like you're walking into Charlie's apartment right there. But then there's also all kinds of science equipment.
Here's the thing, this fucking clean as shit, though. It's immaculate for the first half of the movie.
No, man, those walls are filthy.
The walls, yeah, but there's no clothes on the floor.
Okay,
the
I'll give you
bed,
that.
the couch bed is made. I think it's a couch bed.
It is a couch bed.
Yeah, okay.
It's definitely a couch bed.
And so there's this movie called Final Draft with James Vanderbeek in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that name at all?
Well, have I watched Dawson's Creek?
There it is. I'm glad we're on the same page.
The answer is no, but I did watch, what is it? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah. Yeah, he is in that. I forget that him and Jason Biggs are in that movie.
Yeah, they are.
And they talk about fucking pies because you can't get in a room with Jason Biggs without mentioning the fact that he fucked a pie once.
Well, you do it once,
It's like having a certain color of hair.
Yeah, he's not even in those movies anymore. They're just, people just are like, oh, let's go see those pie fucker movies. Somebody's gonna either
Who's that guy? Oh, the pie fucker, right?
Yeah, yeah. Is he even in them? No? Yeah. Is somebody fucking a pie?
I just want somebody to fuck a pie in this movie.
I don't. If they're not still fucking pies in American Pie, why are they making them? Why are you still making
Change the
American
name.
pies? Yeah,
It's just cream. That episode of Family Guy where Ron Livingston's parents are on a bus and they're trying to remember their own son's name.
Yeah,
It would be way easier if you were Jason Biggs' parents. He's a famous actor. He fucked a pie in 1998.
Oh, I can picture him, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, no, it's fine. All you got to remember is his wiener was in a pastry.
And then Eugene Levy walked in on it.
Yeah, wasn't he
Great.
funny in SCTV?
I don't know. I never watched it.
Second time I'm shocked that you never watched SCTV.
Kids in the Hall guy over here.
Yeah, they go hand in hand.
One's a little more family friendly than the other.
That's fair enough. Favorite Kids in the Hall sketch: Dave Foley with the axe.
Oh, dude, it's every single one of those is great, and it's
he's
on.
like, don't tell anybody I murdered someone with this axe, or else chop chop.
Oh my god! If you haven't seen it, it's Amazon Prime.
It's back.
It's back.
Watch the old and then watch the new.
They are 30 years older, so
They look it.
oh yeah, they do. Well, I mean, they are 30 years older.
Yeah.
So yeah, while Jeff is trying to impress this reporter by teleporting her pantyhose, he's like explaining to her all this stuff, and then she goes, "Huh?" And like that's gonna be the biggest bummer because he's like hyped up. He's like, "Yo, I got this machine. It's amazing.
Oh my
look
God.
look it." And she's just like, "I don't get it. I don't understand."
Like he's so excited to share this invention that, as he described, will change the face of humanity as we know it, or something like that. But like he hits her with the science jargon, and she's just like, "What?"
It's like when you go to show somebody like a really funny video and they just don't. They're just uninterested. It's like, come on.
Or like any movie, and you keep looking at them like when the good parts because you've seen it before, and they have no reaction.
Exactly. That's exactly the vibe I got because how big of a bummer would that be if they just didn't fucking get it?
All right, man, just get the other fucking journalist, the one that's actually interested over. You can go. I don't care how curly your hair is and how big your lips are. Gina Davis, for anybody who hasn't seen her ever, who hasn't seen Beetlejuice or this movie, she's got big pillowy lips.
Oh, I didn't take notice. I was too busy being sirened by Jeff Goldblum's luscious locks.
His fucking rock hard abs somehow.
Well, it was a different time.
I want to say this is one of his first movies ever. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe it was very early into his career.
It probably is, but I'm far too lazy to go look that up for you.
Because this is 1986, I think.
It's not late 80s, but mid 80s for sure. We should have that information, but we don't.
I don't.
We just
I want
don't.
to say I wrote it somewhere, but obviously I didn't. And then Jurassic Park, I think, was like 92?
Yeah, maybe.
91, 92, something like that.
I don't think it was... Maybe 93. I don't know.
Okay.
I was old enough to remember it coming out.
Right.
So
that's a good marker for fuck. So this fucking this is something that I wanted to bring up, which is fucking annoying. He's being all secretive about this thing, right? And in order to make it work, you have to input commands into a computer. Little bit of an oversight. You're trying not to show people or let people in too deeply into how this thing works. All of the commands are voice activated.
Well, yeah, he whispers them.
Oh, he whispers them.
Yeah. He was totally like, initiate teleport command. And then he like looks at her and like to make sure she didn't hear it.
I was so fucking annoyed because there's a keyboard right there.
Yeah, there is.
Just type them. And then later on he types them with his fat fly fingers.
Yeah.
Which would be even harder. But that's because the voice no longer was recognized. So
it was the exact same voice.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It's just it could only recognize teeth. It was teeth recognition.
Yeah, because his teeth just start falling out. Just as a teaser of things to come in this podcast, the way that his body deteriorates is so fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
That I got upset.
Well, I mean, that's the reaction that you should have.
Yeah.
To the things that happen in this movie.
David Cronenberg really hit the fucking nail on the head with the gross here.
Did he ever?
This is, I would say this movie is grosser than From Beyond for me, minus the S&M dungeon. That's gross for a different reason.
You know what?
Just the transformation.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
And I mean, it's all practical effects too. So you get like, it just looks so bad, but so good.
Was there any CGI?
I wouldn't be surprised if the final product was, but I don't think it was.
I was wondering if the fly was, but like they have a baboon and it's like clearly it can see the fly, like it's reacting to the fly, which is hilarious. You just have a baboon in a chair and you antagonize it with an insect for like an hour and a half and film it.
Yeah, and at no point did that baboon eat the fly.
No, that
would have solved everything.
It would have, and that's also like probably a monkey's first instinct. I can't say monkey because it's corrected in the movie as well. It's not a monkey, it's a baboon. Get your fucking species correct.
Yeah, once it's a baboon, I mean, who cares? Do whatever you want to the baboon.
Oh, there's a hierarchy. That's just racism.
Oh yeah, well if it's a monkey, you can't do what happens to...
The monkeys are holy and sacred?
That's right. Baboons.
They're the supreme race of apes?
Yeah. Baboons with their red asses hanging out like that.
I don't think we saw his red ass. We saw his red insides. I don't think we saw the bottom of the monkey hole. Before we move on from the pantyhose, I want to point out this computer that analyzes the data in these inanimate objects in preparation for transporting them spit out that the pantyhose had 0.00001% organic matter in it, which means there's a pube in those pantyhose.
Well, how do you take your pantyhose off without losing at least one?
There's one singular pube in those hose, and now we know that Gina Davis doesn't shave. She likes it to fly free like she's at Woodstock in '78.
Jay digs deep.
Yeah, I sure do.
He digs deep for his information.
Well, it's the fucking computer list of all these things, and I wanted to read all of them.
Yeah,
because I wanted to know.
I didn't even think to pause it to look.
He went to all the trouble of like actually breaking it down into very minuscule percentages, like the genetic composition of everything that goes in there.
Oh my god,
it's insane. And it becomes important later.
It does. So yeah, he teleports these pantyhose, and Gina, she's like, "Oh, what is that? A hologram?"
Yeah, not the. There's a prostitute later on in the movie that he, in his like frantic need to have appreciation later on, he shows her the teleporter, and she goes, "Are you a magician?" I would ask that before asking if it's a hologram.
Yeah.
Every magician does this teleportation bullshit trick.
Yeah.
It's a whole movie with Christian Bale in it called The Prestige.
Oh, and it's such a good movie.
It is. It's a great fucking movie.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure I've seen. I was trying to think of the exact number. How many times I've seen Chris Angel go from one spot to another?
Yeah.
Oh, that dude's doing it left, right, and center. And that's like the number one thing he does.
And let's be clear, those aren't camera cuts.
No.
At all.
That would be a lie.
Yeah.
First of all, if he were to cut the camera, then you would be lied to as a viewer.
It's not at all trickery and production.
No, absolutely not.
He's not just a guy.
When you see him flying, they don't shoot from directly below because he could fall at any. It's dangerous.
Yeah,
he could fall any moment.
It's for the safety of the camera crew. That's why the Screen Actors Guild exists.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not because there's something under there lifting him up.
Or something over top of him.
Holding him in the air.
like because airplanes can't hover, right? There's no way.
There's no such thing.
There's just no device that lets you hover in the air.
Mm-mm.
So
no, it's like sharks when you're in the air. You have to keep moving or you die.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chris Angel, magic shark.
Yep. Oh, that's the best thing.
He's a great white magician.
He is. He literally is.
Oh my god! All right, so Jeff Goldblum, he played one pantyhose is in one tube, but then the pantyhose are in a different box there, and she's like, hologram, and then so he's like, nah, it ain't a hologram. Listen,
bitch,
I dissembled it, I reassembled it.
Yeah.
And then she's like, well, how did you do that? And then Jeff Goldblum, in a wild, just like he goes off in this tangent, and he basically describes the movie The Cube. in how he's like, I get people to design the parts for me, and I don't tell them what I'm making.
Oh my fucking god,
Nobody asks questions because it's inexpensive.
Jeff Goldblum made the fucking Cube, guys.
Right? I wouldn't be surprised if that was his first or second
that's
first
amazing.
project, because I don't think he's making much.
Oh no, he must have made the Cube beforehand.
Yeah, but he's just like, I contract people and nobody knows what I'm making. It's a secret.
Can you imagine the red tape and paperwork you have to like work through, having just a dozen people make random parts, random chips and electronics, and all he does is just he calls it teaching a computer.
Yeah,
you don't fucking teach a computer shit. You type letters and numbers into that thing.
Yeah,
and it just does it.
The computer knows. It's just waiting for you to know what you want it to do.
Yeah. If anything, the computer's teaching you what you did wrong.
It literally that's what it does in the movie.
It does.
We'll get to that because this computer's a fucking dickbag.
It sure is.
This computer makes the worst decisions, but
it just goes with it.
Yeah. So yeah, we meet the boss after that.
Stathis, the misogynistic stalker boss.
Oh yeah, the lead editor of, what is it, Particle magazine?
Yeah. Such a good name for a magazine.
Oh yeah, where's my subscription to Particle hasn't come in the mail yet.
Oh man, what am I gonna do without those?
Oh, I need my quarterly Particle.
I'm gonna be 70% of a person. I need those particles to assimilate.
Motherfucker.
It's just as bad of a magazine title as Time. What's that?
Well, that's a way to measure how long it takes for you to die.
Makes me stoked to read about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is dying.
That should be every article in Time magazine.
Just like, here's a celebrity. Guess how long they've got left.
Yeah. Death clock.
Only time will tell. Dun dun.
Subscribe.
All right, so we'll just get sued by Time magazine, and then we'll be good. Yeah. So yeah, Gina has been recording this whole time.
Yeah, which makes her. So first of all, there's this whole. The only time that people record shadily and it's inadmissible in court is when you're trying to catch somebody red-handed in a crime.
Yeah.
Not when you're trying to like write a story about a kindly scientist.
Yeah, you generally have to ask permission before you start. Just because you're a reporter, I don't think it gives you the right to just be like, well, this is a news story, I guess.
The sad part is it does. And like, okay, you're going to burn the bridge with the most innovative scientist in like fucking 300 years. He's teleporting things from one place to another.
And did you catch why he invented this?
I did, but I forget.
He gets motion sickness, so
yeah, right. He can't drive.
This was the whole like
he can't
solution.
Ride in cars and shit.
For motion sickness.
I mean, that's excessive.
It is. It very much is.
Take a nausea pill.
Yep.
Instead of spending 20 years on this.
Yep. Gravol, maybe. Gravol. Oh, maybe he can't have ginger or something like that.
Yeah, he's got a sensitive tum. His tum.
But just like taking yourself apart molecule by molecule and putting it back together in hopefully the right order. Easier than probably a ginger Gravol. You can't always have those on you. You just can't.
Those ginger Gravols really hit the spot.
Oh God. Then
it's just, I didn't write anything down for this initial Veronica and Stathis scene because I was so fucking appalled by hey, I know that when we were together years ago, it was because I was a teacher and you were a student, thus displaying a toxic power dynamic, which makes the relationship extremely controlling and one-sided and abusive. But I still want to get in there.
How about friends with just fucking?
Yeah.
I believe
he pitches it like 50 times in this movie.
Yeah, at one point she's going in to do something dangerous, and he's like, "Do I have permission to claim your body after this?"
Yeah.
What? For what?
What do you think? Number one. Number two, not only is she going in to do something dangerous, she is like hysterically upset in his office, sobbing.
Yeah.
And concerned.
Yeah.
And that's like, hey, if he dies, can I fuck the shit out of you?
Yeah. Well.
Great. He doesn't have a single redeeming quality the entire movie.
No. I did note that he calls like the teleportation thing a nightclub trick, which...
That was the first indication that like that somebody knows what magic is in this universe.
But it also goes to show like how far we've come in nightclubs, because like that used to be a place for magicians to go.
Yeah.
Now it's loud music and people bumping their groins together. That's all that is.
I would consider that to be a downgrade.
I would.
I would rather go to a nightclub if I knew somebody was going to pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Yeah. And then I was sort of
picturing... Instead of out of their puss.
Well.
Against me.
Yeah.
And glow sticks in my face. I don't even do ecstasy. That's just a nuisance.
You know what?
I'm gonna get a headache.
When those things bust open, that stuff stings the eyes.
I believe that it does.
So don't...
I've never had that happen to me.
Oh, man. Grade 8 dances, man. We used to bust those things and just like throw it all over ourselves so we could glow for about 3 seconds before it just started burning our flesh. Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun.
Before those acidic chemicals started getting into your body?
Yeah. I think one kid even drank it once.
That's a mistake.
Yeah. I went to it
was
a small
die.
town. Small town.
Yeah. Well, those are the only things that happen in small towns, you know? You give a guy one too many EpiPens and they lift a car. That's a true fucking story.
That's something we tried to do, yeah. Yeah. Well, I knew a guy, his name was Rocky. Picture a guy named Rocky, and...
That's what he looked like?
Yeah, he's a big guy, and we're like, well, one EpiPen's probably good, right? I don't know where he got it from, but he had one.
Oh, so he didn't even have a bee allergy, he just had an EpiPen.
Yeah, he got one from somewhere. And,
That's amazing.
And he's like, it's adrenaline. If I give this to myself, you think I could flip this car? I'm like, well, I don't see why not. You're a big guy. And then everybody's like, no. So we didn't do it, but that would have been a sweet video.
It would have. Also, where do you just get those?
I think he got it from his friend
who
God. Actually had an allergy.
So yeah, that guy gets too close to peanut butter and he's like, wow, I wish I didn't give that to my friend Rocky.
Yeah, boy, I hope Rocky's making some good use out of that.
I can't breathe.
Oh my God. So yeah, the boss has been dipping his pen in the company ink. And like it gets worse because at one point she goes home and she hears her shower running and he's just naked in there.
Yeah, so that's a big problem for me.
Yeah.
You come into your house and there's a guy who you used to be in a relationship with but don't have that good of a relationship with other than being just like forced work colleagues because you're trying to do a good job at your dream job. And he's in your house. Not only that, in the shower, ass naked.
Yep. Just let himself in and took his clothes off.
And then she does nothing?
Well, she flushes the toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess at that point, you really just have to drag him out ass naked and wet and throw him into the hallway.
Yeah, and then lock the door. And then be sure to take the key he has.
Well, if he's ass naked and wet, you would hope he's not still having the key on his person.
That's the only place that you can hide it after you get dumped.
Oh my God.
Like she...
Yeah.
During that scene, right after he comes out of the fucking... Like, he thought that was going to be a good idea. Surprise!
Yeah, I just happened to be in the neighborhood and felt a little scummy. That's what he says. And yeah...
That's retarded! That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Bad excuse.
Well, the thing is, like, cleaning himself isn't going to help the scum because that's just his personality.
Let me just say, like... If I live alone and I get home and I hear the shower running, I'm calling the cops immediately. I'm not even stepping foot into my apartment. Hey, there's somebody in my house showering and I don't know.
You know what you do? You put a chair to the doorknob so they can't get out.
Yeah.
And then you call the cops.
Hopefully that door, I don't remember, but hopefully it didn't open in.
That'd be really funny if it did and you still put the chair there. It just falls in. Son of a bitch.
Take the key. So in that scene, just to skip ahead for a sec, because I do have something to say about Jeff Goldblum just saying cheeseburger with jazz hands. So in this fucking scene, after he gets dragged out of the shower by cold water, which, by the way, as a plumber, I can tell you that doesn't happen anymore. Only in very old houses are the toilet lines and shower lines tied together in such a way. Enjoy that information.
That's good to know. So in old houses, you could be potentially showering in fecal matter.
Oh, no, because that's called back siphonage, and we do things to prevent that from happening.
Oh, well, I don't believe that, so I'm never going to shower in an old-ass house.
Yeah, I mean, you probably do your best to not do that anyway. Who knows what kind of black mold exists literally everywhere. At one point, though, Gina Davis, when trying to kick him out, goes, "Are you getting out, or am I?" It's your house.
Yeah, and you should get your key back.
You should also definitely get your key back.
Yeah.
Get your key back when you dump a person.
For sure, yeah. If they say they're going to keep it for whatever, no, I'm going to begin bashing your face in until the key falls out of your hand.
Yeah, I'm just going to stab you with my key.
Yeah, no, you gotta, you're not welcome back.
No. So... yeah, Jeff Goldblum, and now I believe this is when she publishes the story against his wishes. And he gets very upset. But after she leaves and he's like, I don't know how much information about this I want to share with you. And now tell me, just stop me if the timeline's wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is when it happens. He shows up at the old office there after the article gets published. With interest in talking to this reporter because he decides that he wants to talk about his telepods now.
Okay, so it didn't get published, but she was letting her boss listen to that sneaky tape she recorded.
Okay.
And then, he was like...
because she wouldn't give him the tape. That's why he was pissed.
Yeah, and then...
I remember these things now.
And then his idea to stop the article from happening was like, no, let's write a book.
Yeah.
So that...
not a bad idea.
The end of the book could be... when his telepods are finished and people can actually... It's smart.
So, his idea to write the book, his way of getting her to sit down to lunch is to say cheeseburger right in her face with jazz hands.
Oh, yeah, the jazziest hands.
And at that point, all of his creepiness originally was redeemed for me because that's the best thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
I got one word for you. Cheeseburger.
And then imagine the jazziest hands.
But then also at the restaurant, he pulls the lettuce out of the cheeseburger like a fucking maniac. So I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that.
Well, I mean, I also only want so much lettuce on a cheeseburger.
There seemed to be an appropriate amount.
Yeah, and I don't... if you're giving me a cheeseburger and you just put a big leaf of lettuce on it, I'm taking it off.
Okay.
I want it shredded.
He doesn't take off the whole leaf, though. He's picking at pieces of lettuce and just eating them individually.
Okay, well, yeah, then it's because he's a fucking insect.
This goddamn nightmare.
He's also already an insect.
During that scene, he talks as if he's holding a microphone. I just immediately thought of me doing this right here as we speak.
Yep.
I was like, oh, that's how he's speaking.
Yeah, Jay just did a whole hand motion, and he gave me a look that said, I'm talking into a goddamn microphone without the vulgarness, which was really nice.
That's just my tacit state of being, so that's fine. After Stathis gets out, somehow he still has the key. He never gives the key back.
No.
So that's bad.
And then after that scene, I didn't write anything until there was the monkey test.
Yeah, because you just go straight to that.
Yeah, okay, good, because alarming scene.
Veronica calls Stathis a schmuck right before that.
Burn.
That made me happy. Let's bring back that word. Let's not, because it's Jewish, let's not just let them have that.
Oh, Jesus.
I can think of a couple words that I want everybody to have. So now Veronica's back at the lab.
Yeah, she is.
And we're about to try the first non-inanimate test.
Yeah, because up until this point, only inanimate objects.
Yeah.
Or sorry, inanimate. Nanimate is the opposite of inanimate, in case you didn't know.
You added an N.
Yeah, but I do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's sort of the whole thing.
That's generally how language develops. People like you are wild cards, and then suddenly people are saying gnarly.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. So yeah, he's never done a living thing, and then he told that to Veronica while they were eating hamburgers.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what happens? And then he like motions towards the burger or she's like, something like that. I don't know. He compares
That's what he does. And he goes, not while we're eating.
Yeah. And it's good. It's good to have while you're not while you're eating.
That he said that.
Because you get to see what happens immediately after, as if she was like, oh yeah, bet. It was like, and he took her back and he's like, well, let me get a monkey on such short notice. Hold on, let me call the baboon guy.
I also wrote down, where is he getting these baboons from?
And like, once you see what happens to the first baboon, wherein then does the second baboon just get handed to him?
Yeah.
Like, we saw what happened. Where's the first baboon? Where is the first baboon? What did you do to the baboon? What did you do? Because he turns that baboon inside out.
So, yeah, I was like, well, you technically did successfully teleport it from one to another. It's just inside out now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, depending on your motivations, could either be a positive or a negative. Like, if you're Lex Luthor, then that's just fine.
Yeah.
Oh, this is functioning exactly how I want it to.
How regular do you want your baboons? Because we're serving them inside out today.
Rare.
Do you want to see all of the guts? Or do you just want to have it breathe horrifically like a dying monkey?
And then scream.
Yes.
Scream, a blood-curdling, you'll never forget it if you're Jeff Goldblum or Gina Davis scream.
Well, I mean, what else do you do when you've been turned inside out?
I'm surprised that you could even, because your vocal cords would be on the outside now.
Well, maybe it's louder. Maybe it's louder that way.
Yeah, well, you're just vibrating the rest of the meat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vibrating meat.
I need you to enjoy that piece of information.
That's, I'm going to go ahead and we're just never going to invent an inside-out monkey.
Yeah,
because
as if seeing that inside-out monkey wasn't bad enough.
The last thing that gross white dudes need is vibrating meat.
Yeah. You kind of already have it. I wonder if fleshlights vibrate. I'm sure there's some.
I don't know. And, I haven't needed to find out yet, so I'm pretty happy with that.
I fucking wrote down, okay, so again, the things in the telepod get scanned for their matter.
Yeah.
And this monkey has 2,000 milliliters of plasma in it.
Whew.
Which means human beings must have a shitload of plasma.
And so what you're saying is to donate plasma?
Yeah. Because
today.
You get money and a cookie, and sometimes you get the blood back without the plasma.
I'm going to go ahead and just you keep that too.
Yeah, have it.
You're taking it out and it's been in a bag. I don't want that back in.
Consider this a double donation.
There you go.
Do I get a second cookie if you keep the blood?
I don't. Honestly, if they're not giving you a second cookie at that point, you should get the blood back.
That's a fucking fair trade for me.
Oh my god. So yeah, they're filming this for some reason because you know how when you're writing a book, you can include video footage and all of that.
This is for reference for the same reason that people carry on tape recorders when they're writing books.
All right. It's a journalist thing.
And you're writing a book, so you need a lot of visuals. And if over a period of months we're developing this technology, some things are going to slip through the cracks.
All right.
I would argue that an inside-out monkey is something you will never, ever forget until you die.
Yeah. But and just in case it does slip through the cracks in your old age dementia and you want to be like, what happens when we put that monkey in?
It's not ringing a bell for me.
Slap that VHS tape into the VHS converter and have those wires run into the DVD player so that we can watch it on this plasma screen TV. And
then promptly rewind it all the way to the beginning so that somebody like your grandmother doesn't absently just hit play and is scarred for life. Oh,
also, it's not even a VHS tape. It is beta.
It's a Betamax.
That is a beta camera.
Oh.
That's how old this movie is. It's that camera is recording on something you've probably never heard of.
Yeah, it's highly likely that you haven't, in fact.
You know why? Because you couldn't rewind it. There was no fast rewind. You hit play in backwards. That's how you rewind beta.
So you had to just watch the entire thing in reverse to get to the beginning.
Yes, you did.
That's an afternoon.
Yep, and that's why beta did not do well.
Oh my god.
I think. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure.
That's a great reason for a company to disintegrate.
Yeah.
When VHS comes along and goes, hey man, you hit this button and 10 minutes later you can watch The Matrix again? And then everybody who has beta is just like, oh, that must be nice.
How long do you think the Matrix is?
That's like a Learjet.
Oh my God.
That's the bullet train of tapes. Yeah, man.
So yeah, they're filming this whole process, and then so they could remember like Jeff Goldblum's wicked quote after he sees his Inside Out monkey, which is just fuck. She's like, "What are you thinking?" I'm thinking fuck.
Yeah,
well, that's good. The world wants to know.
Yeah, do they?
And I wrote that down. That's the best line. He's like, "What are you thinking? The world's gonna want to know." Fuck is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Second best line, you're a real fucking drag, you know that?
Oh my God, yes.
Right in her face.
I love that.
Because she doesn't want to maybe get turned inside out.
Yeah, she doesn't
Reasonable.
She doesn't want her body taken apart molecule by molecule and reassembled.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a fucking drag.
So here's the thing. I wrote down, and this isn't scientifically accurate by any means, but sort of like why animate objects are an issue for a telepod. All of the parts inside of you are constantly moving.
That's fair.
You're talking about fucking central nervous system. You're talking about blood flow. You're talking about just like chemical reactions in the brain in order for you to function properly.
Yeah.
And a computer has to remember all that.
So what you're saying is the problem isn't the flesh.
No.
It's everything else.
Now, there is blood in the flesh, so it's what the flesh is made up of. But
hey, flesh is flesh.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's like the least of your concerns. I would be worried about brain turning to soup.
Yeah, soup brain.
And wires just looking like you threw out a computer and then stuffed all the wires in a container for 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's the inside of your brain now on the other side of this pod.
I'd be worried. I mean, like, that is terrible. It's just terrible. But I'd also be worried about, like, just coming out with, like, my left arm on my right arm and my right arm on my left arm, because that's going to fuck everything up.
That could very well happen.
That's going to fuck my whole life up.
You got to relearn how to, like, write.
Mm-hmm.
Your dominant hand switched. You're going to be reaching for shit with, like, what you think is your dominant hand. You're like, what the fucking, one of my fingers are fucked.
What am I, dumb? Can't pick up this pencil? I'm dumb?
Do I have CTE?
So immediately after this monkey scene, journalism gets a little bias.
Yeah, it does.
From behind.
Something about seeing a monkey inside out really gets Veronica fired up.
Yeah, she goes...
I think it's just all the exposed meat.
Yeah, she sees that monkey inside out and she's like, oh, you got 5 sets of the same clothes, one for every day of the week.
And you wear your shoes to the couch bed?
Yeah, don't even take them off. Let's peel your pants off over top of your Birkenstocks.
Yeah, and try not to laugh hysterically at how comedic this looks.
Yeah.
Like a fucking Abbott and Costello sketch. He's trying to, like, undress and the shirt just doesn't come off his arms properly and he's running around his apartment.
Moral of the story is always take your shoes off before your pants.
Here's the thing.
Never wear your shoes indoors. How about that?
Yep. That's literally what I was for you Americans out there. Take your fucking shoes off when you get in your house.
The fact that people aren't doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, do you like cleaning?
Do you never step on grass that potentially has dog shit in it?
Yeah, where's all the dog shit going in America?
Yeah.
There's got to be a big pile of it somewhere.
There's no way you guys are so considerate that every one of you bags your dog shit.
I think it might be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I think very few bag their dog shit.
That's definitely the more likely scenario. So y'all just, like, avoid fun so that you can wear your shoes in the house.
Apparently.
My shoes get dirty when I go and check the mail.
I don't take mine into the house. That's just because they're shoes.
No, there's a mat by the front door, and that's where they go, and they stay until I go outside.
So just take note. That's all we want is just take note.
Speaking of things worth taking note of, number 1, the only people who have the exact same outfit for every single day are serial killers.
And Einstein.
And Einstein, who, if he weren't so good at science and knew that, he'd probably be a serial killer.
You know what's really, really funny? Mm-hmm. I noted down, like, that kind of makes sense. I could do one.
It does.
One pair of clothes for the rest of my life.
You're working on theory of relativity, like the biggest brain shit that's ever existed in the history of humanity. Why you got to worry about your socks being mismatched?
Difference between me and Einstein, though, if I was working on that shit, I'd be naked. I'd be butt the fuck ass naked. And if you come in, I'm like, I'm doing math. Why would you just walk in? I'm doing math.
I need to be naked to do the math. It's the purest form.
I can't be tripping over my own socks while I'm naked doing math.
Worrying about my shirt riding up on me in this uncomfortable wood chair from 1912.
19 Dickety 2, actually.
Dickety 2.
If you look it up, it's actually Dickety 2.
Dickety 2.
So this is where
that's so bad.
This is where my haiku comes in.
Yes.
Because they fuck.
Yeah, they do. And they fuck like fat people. On their side.
From behind. So here's the final haiku. Jeff Goldblum gets it. On his side and from behind. Life finds a way.
That's the best haiku you've ever written in your life.
Here's the other iteration.
Yeah.
With no dinos in sight, slamming from the back like a fly, life finds a way. I really
slamming. Based on the horn section in this scene, I don't think there was any aggression involved whatsoever.
I just really wanted to say the phrase slamming from behind.
They got like fucking saxophones and trumpets playing like goddamn Rod Stewart song.
Well, and
it's passionate.
And he's slamming from the back like a fly.
Yeah. I guess flies do that, don't they?
They definitely, I've seen a lot of flies banging. Mm-hmm. If you see flies, you're going to see them banging.
Eventually.
Oh, yeah. It's just a given. Like,
if you watch a squirrel long enough?
Yeah, exactly. But with flies.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so that happens. And they bang on like a microchip.
Yeah.
And then he just like yanks it out of his skin. He's like, oh, yeah, there's that fucking just random microchip.
I want you to know I wrote down, I also sometimes have chips in my bed. It's not too far-fetched, man.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes you roll over onto a chip. And you go, that's where that went. I don't think the microchip was jalapeno cheddar flavored is the only difference.
It's all too real. It's all too real. Oh my God.
Yeah, so before he starts really considering putting himself in the telepod, he tries some meat.
Yes, he does.
Now it's dead meat, so it's like a compromise between animate and inanimate.
Yes.
Because it's not moving, but it still is flesh, which he's, again, like a serial killer, so hung up on flesh.
Yeah.
He loves flesh more than Leatherface.
Oh, that dude wears it.
Yeah. So he cooks, he teleports half a steak, and then in a spectacular way of defeating the purpose of the entire endeavor, cooks the teleported steak and the unteleported steak in the same pan. Oh,
God. Yep. There you go.
That's cross-contamination.
That is.
That's how you get salmonella.
That's how you get teleportinella.
You should be ashamed of yourself. That's how you handle a raw turkey and then you fucking dick around with a salad. Mm-hmm. Whoops. Mm-hmm. Food poisoning.
Yeah, it ruined Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And, but very generous with his, it was a nice cut of meat. And
yeah.
It's like, here, Veronica, try both.
Oh, yeah, and she eats that first steak, and she's like, this is good. I like this.
It needs some finesse, I think is what she said.
Yeah, but
Which is a very passive-aggressive way of saying some fucking salt and pepper on that, you idiot.
Or where's the ketchup?
Yeah. Which, if you're putting ketchup on steak, I've sworn you off as a person.
Oh. You know what? Pork chops. I do it on pork chops.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because pork chops are mostly garbage. So is ketchup, so they go together well.
Wow. Yeah. So she eats that first half a steak. Mm-hmm. She's like, all right. Goes for the teleported steak. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well,
doesn't really put on much of a fight about the reconstructed meat.
Well, she's like, hey, I teleported this steak. And what she says was, are you serious? A monkey just came apart in there.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, wicked point, actually.
That's a good reason to not put the meat in your mouth.
Absolutely. But Jeff Goldblum, being the thinker, reminds her, hey, it's a baboon. Eat it. Immediately, all of her qualms about that inside-out monkey touching or being near the food she's eating, Nah, right in her mouth.
So, because if it were a monkey, that would be disgusting.
Oh, yeah,
You'd never. But a baboon.
Baboon with their big red ass.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I made sure this part slapped the ass.
This steak reminds me of the ass that I saw earlier.
Yeah.
Both the inside and out of. Yeah, good. No, gross.
Oh, good.
Teleported
Lord.
steak in the fucking meat monkey fucking chamber.
Yeah. But yeah, she eats it and she's like, oh, it doesn't taste right. Mm-hmm. And then so Jeff immediately.
His revelation. That
Boom.
light bulb right on.
I know exactly what I got to type into this computer from the first computer ever made.
Flesh.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed how excitedly runway model he strutted over to that computer when he realized he had to type some things in.
I didn't, but I'm picturing him really throwing his ass.
Yes.
Okay.
Ass and hips. Hips and nips, dude. Otherwise, you can't sell it.
Did he turn? Did he do the turn at the end of the...
I wish.
Bummer.
But you get to see him from the back just, like Chris Pine. And I mean, I'm not gay. But I could see it happening. He's beautiful.
I don't know who Chris Pine is.
Oh, no, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking about Jeff Goldblum.
No, he...
being caramel and wonderful.
You know, he aged very well.
Almost not at all.
Yeah, he really pulled, oh God, what's that guy's name from Parks and Rec?
Fucking Nicolas Cage to some degree. Which guy?
The guy who's also from Wayne's World.
Oh, I'm not going to know that.
You are, because he's the boss who runs.
Oh, Ron Swanson?
No.
Oh, Rob Lowe.
Yeah, you go. That vampire.
Yeah, Rob Lowe is like 70. You'd never know it.
I'm pretty sure he drinks blood.
Not only is he 70, but he used to be hardcore addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I think he's done a couple things that he shouldn't be proud of. I've heard, and I don't want to throw it out there because I don't know if it's true.
Well,
but there's some allegations.
Yeah, back when it was acceptable to do, he happened to date a very young person, I believe.
iCarumba.com.
Yeah.
/login.
The climate about 30-year age gaps when you're 45 used to be different.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, it's a lot creepier these days.
Mm-hmm. I think it was probably pretty creepy back then, too, but nobody said anything.
So yeah, she eats the steak.
Yeah, she eats the steak.
Right,
Jeff Goldblum has his revelation.
Yeah,
and goes over to the computer to do hard science work.
And she finds this little magazine, like something that was slipped under the door, addressed to her. Lo and behold, it's the article that her boss just threw together. Because
her boss doesn't like that there might be a little bit more than journalism happening.
Yeah, he doesn't like the fly action. Mm-hmm. No, he's very much against that.
So here's the problem with Stathis in this scene. He has followed Veronica to Seth Brundle's science lab here.
The Brundle zone.
Here's a couple things he did wrong. He drove his personal vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
He drove a $100,000 personal vehicle with a vanity plate, which means he's immediately recognizable. As a former private investigator, he did everything wrong when following somebody covertly.
Well,
it's almost as if he had a handbook on how to be a good PI and went, fuck all that.
I'll just read the back.
And so here's the thing, right? Like, she was at the lab when the sun was up.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't leave until nightfall.
Oh, boy. There better be some science going on in there.
Which means this motherfucker camped out front of this fucking industrial building all day in a Mercedes that's worth 6 figures.
Oh, boy.
And he didn't get raped and murdered?
Well, the 80s were a different time, apparently.
They sure were. Safer, I guess?
I guess. A lot safer for white people to sit around in expensive cars in bad neighborhoods.
With that being said, it's also the 80s, and Jeff Goldblum was quite skinny, so I don't know why Gina wasn't worried about AIDS. Because it was everywhere. AIDS was like 4 years old at that point. And no, she just doesn't give a fuck.
Well, you don't know. Maybe he wrapped it.
I don't think he did.
Well, at the beginning, she's like, you don't get out much. And he's like, you can tell?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously,
Oh, so he's got like the condom from like the 10th grade.
Well, no.
In the drawer, the one that when you open it up, it just disintegrates into dust.
No, I think she's just taking his word for it that he doesn't bang.
Okay, I understand.
And she can tell.
I get it.
She's got that third sense.
He also conducts some pretty humanly atrocious experiments. So who knows what he's putting in his body. He put a fly in there.
Oh, God. Yeah. So Gina rushes off to
Oh yes, okay.
Talk to her boss.
Yeah, continue your thing because you said what you thought was the best line in the movie. I said what I thought the second best line was, and then I read just now what the actual best line in the movie.
Yeah. She drives off to work to confront her boss about printing the story that she didn't give him permission to print, and she's like, "Hey, listen, look, you can't print that yet because big things are coming. I'm onto something big." And then...
Whereas most journalistic bosses would be like, oh, this is a developing story that you're keeping close, and I'm going to give you the tether required in order to unbiasedly, which is already flown, but write this story in the way that your journalistic voice would.
No, he doesn't say that at all, actually. No, what does he say?
I believe around this time, right after she says, I'm finally on to something that's big, huge, he says, yeah, what? His cock?
Yeah, he certainly says that.
Now, if I was Veronica, I would be like, well, first of all, yes. But also more than that. Stathis.
My God. Just to be upfront, actually, we do it from the side. We lay down. It's a lazy Sunday morning.
Get way into it about it, right?
Yeah.
This takes place right in a leather jacket store.
Oh, you are correct. Because you know what I didn't note, but when I watched this morning, I did. She's like looking at these, just trying to pick out clothes for Jeff Goldblum.
A nice jacket from my friend Seth.
Yeah, and if you scan the background, you can spot Stathis because he's standing behind the shortest man in the world. He is towering over this man whom I assume he was meant to be hiding behind.
I didn't see
but
that.
He's just a little tiny man who's just like looking around. Stathis is just like over top of him, just like
Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's looming, just lurching forward, trying to creep.
I did not see that at all.
Oh, God.
I'm really happy you said that because that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, just not at all hidden. Oh, Christ.
It's a nice jacket. It must be a high-end store.
It is.
It's leather, man.
It's a fine jacket store. And then I think it cut right to Monkey Test 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Now, this is the thing, right? Jeff Goldblum, or Seth, I'm going back and forth on that.
Hey.
Anarchy Podcast. Establishes that this is the baboon's brother.
Good God. I forgot about that.
And apologizes for murdering him.
Ugh.
As if he knows.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure the baboon was grasping it until he actually apologized.
Right.
And then the baboon
got distracted by a fly in the room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As baboons do.
Because they don't give a fuck about shit like that.
Yeah. Because
the animal kingdom is, much less emotional.
Yeah, they do a lot of things that people go to jail for.
Yeah. And then they just go eat food.
Yeah, they do.
That's the fucking life.
They eat food and shit at the same time.
Yeah, sometimes they fucking do that, don't they?
But that's animals.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
No, that's bad. Have you ever walked in on somebody fucking shitting with like a chocolate bar? Like, that's too close.
I can honestly say I've never walked in on anybody sitting on the toilet and also eating.
I may have brought like a drink in with me once or twice.
Now, in the pool is another story.
Yeah. Well, it's chlorinated.
Yep.
That's sanitary.
And you can swim away from it.
I would say don't shit in the pool, though. That's a bad time for everybody but you.
That's
I watched Action Park, the movie that Johnny Knoxville made that's terrible. So a documentary came out in 2020 about the same park.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I've probably seen parts of it.
Two things that I want to point out about this park. As per the literal teenagers who were drunk, who ran it, they all had walkie-talkies, and when somebody shit in the water park area, they would call it a code brown.
Well, what other color do you choose?
And they would put wristbands on people that they had to save from nearly drowning, who insisted on going back in the water afterward, that said CFS on it.
Oh, no.
And that stood for can't fucking swim.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was like something like a do not save.
Oh, no.
Swim.
That's funny. But
oh, Lord.
Can't fucking swim. But we have so little control over the people in our park that they're just gonna try anyway.
Yeah. And, while we're on the topic, there is a difference between shitting in the pool and shitting into the pool.
What parties are you going to where people are just squatting off the diving board like that?
Parties that get ruined.
Yeah, right away. By that.
Well, yeah. Well, one's an accident.
You gotta watch the whole process?
One's an accident, one's a mistake.
Yeah. Good God. There's not enough chlorine in the world.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Well, back to this monkey.
Yeah.
So yeah, the monkey goes right in there. Goes right in there.
It's got no price. It's like there was monkey food right in there.
Yeah, as if he couldn't smell the carnage that just took place the day before.
And you know how unsanitary these scientific conditions are because a fly gets in. So it's not like Jeff Goldblum is bleaching out the telepod when he's done.
No. And like, who is this baboon guy?
Yeah, exactly.
The next, I need another.
Not only that, okay, I'll give you a sibling.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the matching baboon to the set.
Yeah. Let's just eradicate this strain.
Yeah, absolutely. So it throws the baboon in there. Baboon teleports. And then the door opens. Automatically.
Yep. Smoke.
Yeah.
Fog.
As if the monster monkey isn't going to run out and just go wild.
Yeah, because, that's a very possible thing that could happen.
The last monkey became a monster. This one, what's to say it's not going to be a monster that runs out and scratches your fucking face off?
Which sometimes, like, just regular monkeys do that.
All monkeys do that. If you see a monkey, it's going to do that.
Eventually.
All monkeys do that or die. They either do that or they die doing that.
Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, the monkey runs out and you're like, oh, here it comes. But then it's just like, oh, hey, what's up, buddy? And he jumps into his arms like a dog.
I was scared in there.
Yeah, honestly, my first thought was like, so you're going to have that automatically open. The last time you had to open it yourself to reveal this monkey. But you're just going to have it open this time so that this monkey you reassembled can meander out on its own?
Putting a great deal of faith in the integrity of whatever you just moved from one place to another.
Yeah, and 28 days later, we saw it. The cage was open.
You open the cage and you're fucked.
Yep.
Great point. Didn't think about that.
Leave the monkey cage closed.
I was mostly just like enjoying the wholesome nature of what happened.
Yeah.
I was like, monkey hug.
No, I was concerned. I was like, here comes the demon monkey.
Yeah.
The demon monkey that fucks it all up for everybody.
Oh my god. Yeah. And so Jeff Goldblum's like, oh shit. Yo, it's fucking game time up in here, isn't it?
Well, it takes his girlfriend going. This is when she goes to
and she
goes to see her boss about this article. We got the timeline all messed up.
That's
but,
fine. It's not the first time it's happened.
I think 40% of these people aren't watching the movie anyway. We could say anything
this
at
one,
this
at
point.
least you should because it's good.
Yeah, this one's gonna get a solid something or other at the end.
You know who did was Zach.
Okay, there.
So,
somebody.
Shout out to Zach for actually watching.
Somebody's taking our suggestions.
Unfortunately, watching The Human Centipede last time.
Sorry.
My bad.
So yeah, she takes off and he kind of puts two and two together that her boss is her ex.
Yeah.
And then being just a simple-minded idiot, he spirals and starts drinking and...
Well, he had this nice fucking dinner set out with Chinese food, which I would argue is very romantic.
Spicy eggplant.
Extremely. That's a very romantic because it's like we're both diving into the hazard that is Chinese fast food. A lot of the time, it's like a 50-50. You're rolling the dice on the quality of that.
And to people who are going to deliver to an industrial warehouse, yeah, good luck.
Also, like the restaurants in that area.
yeah, it's probably next door. He's got the leaflet on his door a couple times. Oh God,
Ming Ching's Chernobyl, Chinese.
Yeah, and so he's gonna order Chinese, and he pops out a bottle of champagne. She's like, "Hold on, I gotta go see my boss." And so, like, just a fucking high schooler, he swigs half of this bottle of champagne and just makes an irrational decision.
So they established pretty early in this movie that he's an alcoholic lightweight.
Yeah, they do.
He doesn't drink very often.
No.
He's a little bit buzzed off of like one drink at this fucking science party.
And then, he spills this whole thing.
And he goes, fuck it, this bottle's mine now. And he gets like 3 solid swigs in. And the third one, I think, he gets more on him than in him, which is method acting.
Well, he's by that third swig, if you're not wasted, I don't know who isn't.
Around this time, as he's muttering to himself, he's talking about how the letter was addressed, and he figures it's from the desk of Stathis Barnes, which is Stathis' last name, and then he goes, from under the desk of Stathis Barnes?
I did not catch that.
Yeah, he fucking said that.
Oh my god.
Veronica's doing the old office blow.
Well,
I could relate very easily with this scene, though, because sometimes when I'm drunk, I do talk to my cat.
Well, I mean,
in the same way that he talks to this baboon in the chair, sitting.
Just like, you don't think she's fucking her boss, do you?
Yeah.
I'm picturing you doing it. It's very sad.
I fucking would. My cat's just meowing for more food at me.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what she wants, but you're like, you're right.
Yeah.
So
he's like, you know what? Fuck this bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna teleport the shit out myself.
And this is an adage that usually people say it differently when it comes to relationship turmoil. Never get into a teleporter angry.
You know what? Moral of the story.
Also, like, just jerk off, and the post-nut clarity will be like, maybe I shouldn't get into telepod yet.
Yeah.
Instead of, I want to spite this woman who bangs really well on her side.
Have some coffee. Think about it. But he takes all of his clothes off, because you know what? The one thing the teleporter can do is teleport clothes. But
so this is confusing to me, because teleporters, I assume what happens is a fly gets into the fucking telepod with him, and the fly DNA gets assimilated into his DNA.
Yeah, make no bones about it. There was a fly in the room. The loudest fly that has ever existed. It was like listening to a helicopter.
It was louder than his fucking dialogue.
I just picture just like he's trying to do his line and just a helicopter's hovering over it, just papers going everywhere. He's like, fucking Veronica. This bitch. Monkey, get me the teleporter. Just shit going everywhere.
That monkey becomes fucking, what's his name from Igor from Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Now, so he takes his clothes off. Why?
Because it's a beautiful scene, and it's just a beautiful naked scene.
We need you to be naked for this.
I feel like I have to be naked. It's just a beautiful naked scene.
Maybe it's a purity thing, which is ironic because there's a fly in there.
Yeah, maybe. But either way, that fly wastes no time. And the monkey sees it. The monkey says, dick all.
No, the monkey's like, yeah, you put me through that shit. Enjoy, fuckface.
You're going to love this. Love it. And I mean, given the state of his fucking apartment, keeping monkeys around, of course there's going to be flies.
Yeah. Monkeys, open champagne spilt on the floor from your mouth. Also, this is worth noting, and I don't know how it would affect things if there were no fly in there, but that means that he was deconstructed and reconstructed with alcohol in his system. Now, would that just stay in there? Are you that drunk for the rest of your life?
Shit.
In which case, get me in that telepod.
You're going to save so much money.
Dude, and
You're going to be able to do nothing, but like the money you'll save.
About being jilted.
There you go. Yeah, that's your life now. But I mean, he comes out pretty sober, so maybe it deconstructed the alcohol and turned it into like sugar.
Okay.
I don't know.
I found my synopsis, which is just Jeff Goldblum learns the hard way to do dishes more often.
Fucking Jeff Gold nude.
Fly tape would have solved this whole problem.
Oh, yeah.
Like 30 cents at the dollar store. Just a gluey strip.
You
live in a warehouse. There's going to be bugs.
No, for sure. Like, yeah, you're an industrial warehouse. Every windowsill has dead bugs in it.
Yep.
And where do those bugs come from? Living bugs. Everywhere.
That's how that works.
Circle
of life.
I noted down, what if instead of becoming a fly man, Jeff just became really obsessed with shits? And just was like, every time he saw a shit pile, like, hold up a sec.
I gotta get in there.
Yeah,
That's where the good stuff is.
soft, warm.
Soft and
nutrients.
loose. Oh my God.
But yeah, so yeah, the fly goes in there. He comes out the other side. Fly's gone, man. The fly didn't get teleported.
Didn't notice that the fly was in there in the first place, let alone gone the next.
You didn't? Because like
he didn't.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say the monkey watches the fly.
He didn't have any idea. Okay. Jeff Goldblum had no fucking idea.
Yeah, but like you would think like he would just like hold on a second. Oh.
Yeah, let me just solve that.
Yeah. But yeah, so he comes out the other side feeling amazing.
Feeling so
fantastic.
good.
And then he goes to bed.
Yeah,
he goes to bed because he's fucking drunk. And then his girlfriend comes home and she's like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "I just teleported myself. Fuck you. Fuck that whole story. Fuck everything. I just went in there.
I did the most important part of this book that you've invested in, myself alone."
Yeah, and I filmed it. I filmed it, dumbass. Fuck you.
Yeah. I was feeling jealous.
Your boss is a boss penis.
I don't want his boss penis anywhere near you.
So
also don't talk to your friends when I'm not around.
Oh boy,
and
yeah.
Then you do, and then you're codependent forever.
Yeah, some red flags. I think at some point, she refers to the two of them as like an old married couple.
Yeah,
and then he's like, "Yeah, old married couple." Yikes!
Yeah.
Yikes!
Like the way that he announces, like, or like tries to air out the confusion about the nature of their relationship. Is this a romance we're having? Thanks, Ted Bundy.
I'd like to note it in my diary,
which is on skin. Good God!
Fuck. So yeah, somehow going through this teleporter with the fly has given Jeff Goldblum these superpowers that I didn't think flies were associated with.
My thing is like, have you ever seen a fly sleep?
No.
Because he mentions that he doesn't sleep.
He also wakes up out of a dead sleep to just catch a fly.
Yeah,
like Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, it turns him into fucking Karate Kid Sensei.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know flies could catch each other at lightning speed. That's interesting.
All I see flies do are just fucking thump up against a window until they find out that it's until they find the open part.
That's the best thing they do. That's what they're good at. That and eating shit.
It's what they're two things in their wheelhouse.
Nowhere on that list is being able to do a handstand on the arms of a flimsy chair and then do vertical push-ups.
Or fucking Cirque du Soleil gymnastics.
Suddenly you're part of the fucking Russian doping gymnastics team.
Oh my God.
On a bar that, let me tell you something right now.
Oh, that's no bar.
That's a goddamn pipe.
Yes, it is.
And it's a black iron pipe, which is threaded, and it's usually for gas. Now, Jeff Goldblum in this movie looks to be roughly, if you were to factor in the muscle and his height, I would say somewhere between 180 and 200 pounds. There are no support. Now, code states that hung rigid pipe needs to be supported every 6 feet minimum. Across that entire horizontal portion of the pipe that he's hanging off of and doing insane gymnastics where he gets so much height that he runs along the ceiling, there are no supports. Which means that shit is going to bust wide open.
Oh, yeah. And then...
Also, this building isn't up to code and you're doing science experiments in it.
You're dead.
It's probably gas pipe.
As well, hung rigid pipe.
Yeah, I did say hung rigid pipe out loud.
You certainly did. You certainly did. And that's exactly what Jeff Goldblum does to several ladies in this film.
Yeah, he does. He provides it. Now, that's how you know I've been doing this fucking job for too long. I didn't even find that funny while I was saying it.
Yeah, that was the first my eyes widened and I was just like,
God damn it.
Where am I going to shoehorn this into the conversation?
It's hung rigid black pipe as well. Because I'm pretty sure it's galvanized black iron.
Hungrigidblackpipe.com.
Yeah.
And it's literally plumbing. It's like
yeah. It's just threaded fittings for sale from a supplier.
We just wrote a whole business right there.
Yeah, we're starting that website.
It's a joke plumbing business.
Mm-hmm. It's just fucking plumbing dick puns. That's every fucking like the mission statement, everything.
We
specialize in laying pipe for homeowners.
We want you to run the thickest pipe. and the sturdiest pipe deep into your basement.
We recommend the 4-inch wide white.
Cum pipes.
It just evolves into that.
There was nowhere else to go.
Cum pipes.
Oh my god.
You'll notice that Veronica gets very wet watching Seth work out.
Oh yeah,
she gets so excited that she just can't handle it.
Yeah, she does. She flops right on that hung rigid pipe.
And I understand it.
Yeah. Oh well, hey. I mean, when you see a guy doing that, how do you not?
Mm-hmm.
How do you not? I mean, you just don't sometimes, but how do you not?
At some point, for some reason, around this time, Jeff Goldblum must have done something to make me write down Buffalo Bill behavior. I have no idea what it could be at this point.
Buffalo Bill behavior.
He does something that was like, this is some Silence of the Lambs shit. Like, just the way he acts it.
Okay,
I think it was the way that he came toward Veronica.
Okay, I hope it comes to you, and
it's not gonna.
No, we're gonna get it out of context.
I watched this shit 2 days ago, so
okay,
that one I'm not gonna remember.
Well, let's pretend like he probably did a very Buffalo Billy. He probably
had
I think
it was
what?
I think it was watching him work out on the chair.
Yeah. Okay.
Like just getting up out of bed and your girlfriend's in bed and you just go and have like a slow, aggressive workout session. Mm-hmm. That's some Buffalo Bill shit to me.
That and tucking your dick between your legs.
Yeah, which I don't think he does, and I don't think he'd be even capable of it because this guy's got the hammer. Look at him.
Oh yeah. Well, it's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
It's Jeff Goldblum.
He's got a fucking cudgel with an apple on the end of it.
I mean, and if anybody proves me otherwise, I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let me live in my fantasy where Jeff Goldblum is just laying it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a micro penis.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Then we got like there is a sugar scene from Men in Black in here where he's just shoveling sugar into his coffee and
at the same time just freaking the fuck out with excitement in a diner so loud.
Apparently splicing yourself with a fly turns you into a cokehead.
And it gives you no social tact whatsoever.
And he's like, where's that waiter? Fuck!
Yeah, he says waiter, gets a sentence out. Where is that waiter? Jesus Christ!
Jesus, yeah. And like it goes from being on coke very quickly to being on meth.
It really does, dude.
He falls apart.
Something about being half a fly makes you very insistent.
Yeah. Just like kind of going forward, he starts growing some hairs out of his back.
From the chip wound.
Yeah, from the chip wound.
I don't, there's no fucking Dorito on earth that would do that to me. So that's where the similarities end.
Yeah. If you get cut up by a Dorito, you should probably call the company.
It's just cheesy.
But like hairs start poking through where that I didn't put that together that like they just probably broke skin and the hairs just came through, but they're like these thick. They're definitely like the hairs you find on a fly. It's just big.
And fucking Veronica's got like a pair of tinning shears to cut these off with.
Yeah, she does. And did you catch because he mumbled the line. I had to listen to it a few times, but did you catch what Jeff Goldblum said? It was his explanation for growing these hairs.
No.
He's like, when you age, your hair changes. When I was a young boy, I always dreamed of a hairy body.
Yes, I did actually catch that.
I was like, you dreamed of a hairy body. That's what you fucking dreamed of.
Most kids dream of being a fire truck.
That is what I was about to fucking say. This is like, that's the dream right there. Nah, I want to be a hairy boy.
Yeah, I want to look like a Yeti. That's you're writing that down on like what do you want to be when you grow up, like class projects and shit.
Yeah,
the abominable snowman.
I want to be a rocket star. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
nope.
Fucking kids say it.
Yeah, they do, and they're wrong.
They're little assholes, is what they are. Yeah, and then this is when Jeff Goldblum makes it weird.
Mm-hmm. This is when.
Well, yeah, because
it wasn't the first time he met her.
No.
That wasn't weird enough.
It gets weirder with the non-consensual teleporting threats and trying to drag somebody into a confined area, which maybe don't do that. Maybe don't try and throw somebody into a confined area. Oh,
you're not all that enthusiastic about trying this thing I've tested twice?
Yeah, this thing you saw pull a monkey apart a day and a half ago? Yeah,
the timeline's real foggy on this one,
Yeah, I've gone ahead and just updated it. We updated the software.
I learned the computer.
I done learned it a thing or two about putting two people in one spot at the same time. Now, look at these hairs I got growing out my back.
Don't you want some of those?
Those are super pubes that you get from teleporting.
Super pubes. Kill crabs on site.
Well, yeah, they're fucking thick and rigid. Good Lord. Okay. Yeah, so he calls her a fucking drag when she's like, please don't put me in this thing that's gonna turn me into goop and then put me back together.
And then, like, as he's getting pissed and making her leave and shit, or not even making her leave, choosing to leave himself to find somebody who will go in the pod, he waxes so poetic and says, drink deep or drink not from the plasma pool.
Oh, he goes off.
That was like the headiest, and he's a scientist thing.
Yeah,
he says in the whole movie.
Oh my God, yeah, he goes off on like the flesh and the plasma pool. Oh, dude,
that fucking line is a thinker.
Yeah, it is.
I had to pause and be like, whoa,
some deep shit right there.
That's just like fucking, if you know, don't half-ass anything, whole ass one thing.
Yeah,
and you find that fiery passion and you go for it.
You either teleport or you fucking don't. Yeah.
That's it. He's like, get in this pod or die eventually.
Yeah, your choice. Flies have a lifespan of several days.
Fuck. Yeah, you must fucking, fly larvae once they hatch must feel so energetic for about 7 hours.
Yeah, and then old age sets in.
You're like, oh, I'm dying now.
If they don't fuck within like 8 hours, they've missed their window.
Yeah. I think that's like a fact.
Yeah, it might be. We might be just saying things, then they end up being facts. Yeah. So Jeff, he leaves to go to this.
Like, fuck it.
Wait. Is this? Hold on.
This is dingiest dive bar on earth.
Okay. Yeah. This isn't where he goes total Kyle. He goes Kyle later.
I don't know what that is, but once you describe it, I believe I will. Total Kyle.
Veronica's like, you're sick, and he's like, oh yeah, would a sick guy do this? And he starts punching holes in the wall. Because to prove a point, you should always punch holes in the wall. Yeah. That's the way you do it.
The easiest and quickest way to get your message across if you're a wife beater.
Yeah. So he goes to the dirtiest bar.
Yeah.
To see the dirtiest things.
And you know it's the dirtiest bar because you got two guys just tacitly arm wrestling.
Yeah.
And they're friends.
It's like they've been doing it for like 20 minutes too.
Yeah. We got this arm wrestling competition going for as long as those guys are playing pool because I have money on both.
If you've seen, if you've seen the Terminator 2, it's like the bar from the beginning, but they've unscrewed like 14 light bulbs.
Yeah, it's somehow worse than a biker bar.
Yeah, these two guys are arm wrestling, and Jeff
loses sorry to take over.
No, go for it.
My description.
Yeah,
loses all sense of perception and good judgment. And finds something somehow more disgusting than his face at this point in the movie.
Which is scabbed.
Oh, yeah.
It is falling apart.
And it's leaking. And I don't know if it was like, oh, you're the only woman within a 5-mile radius of this bar I'm in. You'll do.
She's supposed to have been the only one that was sitting alone at the time.
Or something he was like
just something wild like that.
But it can't be that he knew what he looked like at this point because he didn't, because he looks in the mirror later.
He looks like Faces of Meth.
Yeah, he sure does. And I was annoyed here because more people, and this is a dirty, dirty bar, more people in this bar should have been noticing Jeff Goldblum's face.
Yeah. Generally, when somebody with the facial wounds of a meth addict approach you, you don't respond because what they want is meth. Yeah. And they're looking to see if you have it or know where it comes from.
And I mean, if you don't have it, then you've just created a problem by not having it.
Yeah. And that's how you get stabbed by a meth head.
Yeah.
Moral of the story, don't talk to Jeff Goldblum if he looks like a meth head.
No.
Because something bad's going to happen.
This hooker, because that's what she is.
Is she? I mean, we'll call her a hooker.
She's a hooker because she's watching the arm wrestling and she goes, I'm here with that guy. And then Jeff Goldblum goes, no, you're not.
Yeah. He's like, if I win this, I'm taking you home for the night. As if that constitutes a payment to a pimp. Just watch me arm wrestle. And then, like, then he just gives this guy a big old compound fracture.
Yeah, he does. He wastes no time breaking a man's arm in half to prove a point.
Yeah, and then this lady,
This fucking lady.
Well, she leaves with a complete stranger who just broke a man's arm so much the bone protruded through the skin.
I believe it's called grievous bodily injury.
Absolutely. She's gonna make some biker real happy someday.
Not only does she leave with him, she's stoked about what he did to that guy's arm.
Oh, yeah. She just saw something like that happen. She's ready to make some more bad decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, she cares very little about her own well-being.
I don't remember what exactly she says, but holy fuck, it's like, wow, you really did a number on him.
Yeah, she says, are you a bodybuilder? And he's like, yeah, I build bodies. I take them apart and I put them back together. What the fuck does that mean? Goodbye, I'll be staying with my busted arm friend who I should probably be calling the ambulance for.
Oh, that's something a serial killer says and does.
Yeah, no thank you.
Holy shit. Like a fucking Jeepers Creepers tapestry.
Yeah, my God. And,
ew.
And then she's like, okay, well, look, I just want to go to a couple more bars.
Yeah. No.
Now they do. And then they come back in the daytime. So I don't know how many bars they went to, but they're both completely sober.
Well, okay, so Veronica shows up. They bang out. Then he works out for a bit. He comes back and they bang out. So I don't know how, like, late at night he left. Probably pretty fucking late.
Okay, well, like, what? Maybe bars are open late in whatever place this is supposed to be.
I don't think this bar has a 2 a.m. curfew.
It's one of those kind of bars.
I believe this is a New Orleans 24/7 bar.
Well, for the sake of this, let's pretend it is.
Yeah, well, it's the only thing that makes goddamn sense.
Let's keep our finger out of that hole.
Yeah.
We'll let that hole glide.
So now, again, you're noticing a trend in Mr. Brundle's judgment here. I just picked up a whore. And I'm going to take her back to the place where I know my girlfriend is staying still. And I'm going to assume that's fine.
He's got fly brain.
Oh, so he's got a little pea brain now.
There you go.
Yeah. That makes sense, I suppose.
I mean, making the decisions this guy makes, he goes from making a wicked awesome machine that teleports matter to like punching a hole in a wall and fucking a hooker.
Which happens like right now, too.
Yeah.
After this fucking hooker, let me tell you, I don't know if it's like a fucking integrity move or a scummy bitch thing to do as you're leaving, in case there is any concern as to whether or not they banged while Veronica was gone. Thanks for a great night. Oh, it's all out on the table now.
Yeah.
As if the fact that I'm wearing nothing but a jacket and underwear wasn't an indicator enough.
Yeah. She really didn't need to put a hat on a hat there.
Yeah.
Good Lord. She cares so very little about her well-being. But then when it comes to like getting the teleporter, no. I see that you're super buff and you broke a dude's arm, and that could be me in there. But this is where I start caring.
Yeah.
Not after leaving with the man who just broke a guy's arm for zero reason other than he wanted to steal me away from my friends.
I'm in your fucking creepy warehouse butcher's meat market sliding door laboratory.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the teleport.
Even after she watches him do it. I don't want to be a part of this magic trick.
Yeah, let's just bang out like crazy.
She also offers him an alcohol rub, which, is that a thing?
I have no idea.
Like, I've never heard of anybody being rubbed with vodka because that would just dry you out.
That's what I was thinking as well. It's just going to dry your skin the fuck out.
I think they just wanted to add something in where it's like a bug wouldn't want to be touched with alcohol.
Don't touch me with that isopropyl. Ew.
Yeah.
Also, like, doesn't she use this fucking champagne? Which is not, that's not great.
Yeah.
I assume it's supposed to be like amorous.
You're just going to be made sticky.
Yeah. Well, they were anyway by the end of the night.
And it also goes back when they first lay on that microchip. The Veronica's like, hey, do you have any disinfectant? And he's like, no, I don't have any of that. Oh, let me just put my mouth on it then. She like just kisses it better. Oh, that's good enough. Absolutely.
With those fucking hairs growing out of it. Like, yeah, man, these coarse hairs that probably stabbed me in the tongue when I kissed them.
But yeah, so yeah, she tries to drag this car to the teleporter. Veronica comes in. The whole thing goes down, and he starts punching a hole in a wall like a total Kyle to prove whatever point that he was a healthy individual, while his face and arms and body look like they're melting like Play-Doh.
Like a fucking wax figure.
Yeah, because after he punches the hole in the wall, like the next thing he does is like pop his fingers like medical zits.
In between, he kicks Veronica out and says, "I don't need you anymore," which is the opposite of the truth.
Yeah, because he goes right to... Also, his ear falls right off as soon as he says that.
Dude, his ear... One of the grosser things in this movie is watching that fucking man's ear fall off. Happens later, though.
Does it happen later?
Yeah,
okay.
It happens out, and this is the only establishment of time in like the whole movie.
Okay.
So he's in, and I can't gloss over, I am physically disgusted by, like, popping acne. And that's exactly what this motherfucker's fingers do.
Oh, he pops his whole fingertip.
I can't handle that shit. That was so goddamn gross.
Yeah, it was like popping a balloon full of potatoes.
Taking your fingernails off one by one slowly is bad enough.
That is such a meth head thing to fucking do.
Yeah, it fucking is.
Oh my God. Like
also heroin, probably.
Yeah, you notice your fingernails are coming off.
Let me just solve it.
You leave them on. Let them fall off the way God intended.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And then, so that grossness... cut to, and this is, again, the only establishment of time progression. It's been 4 weeks, so a month.
Son of a bitch.
It's some, like, one-off comment that he makes on the phone when he contacts Veronica for the first time.
Right.
And in this scene, I noticed that Veronica, first of all, she smokes in her apartment. She smokes in the journalist's office, which I noticed previously. And she has an ashtray the size of a flying saucer you could fit an alien in.
I did not catch that.
Which means she's a fucking chain smoker from hell, because how do you fill that?
You're just very lazy. You just don't empty it. I mean, never empty it.
It would take months. It's the size of a plate.
Well, maybe she has a lot of guests. Maybe she has smoking parties.
Fine.
Yeah, somewhere in here, right before that, actually, that's when he goes up to his computer and he's like, "Hey, what
happened here?"
And the computer's like, "Oh yeah, fly."
My bad.
And
I didn't mention the fly.
He's like, so did I absorb that fly? Because like that's not a big deal.
No, it's just eating a fly.
Yeah, we've all eaten flies.
Probably.
You sleep
spiders.
Sleep with your mouth open. You can't control what goes in your mouth.
Things are gonna get in there eventually.
And the
very upsetting piece of information to just gloss over.
Yeah. We'll pretend like everybody sleeps with the mouth closed.
Yeah.
And there's this piece of shit computer's like, yeah, no. Instead of doing the easy thing, no, fly man. Fly man. I made it. Look what I did.
Look right at it.
Yeah, look at you.
Check it out in the mirror there.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I could have done the easy thing, but I did the more complicated and awful thing, actually. I thought that was a mood.
I was having a real the vibe that day was fly man. That's how I made it happen for you. Now, I didn't think about how it would have been easier for that computer to just like, because it recognized the different DNA patterns, just omit that.
Yeah.
Because it was minuscule. It was small percentages of things. Extremely small. And instead it chose to just put them together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Genius move.
Just a tip for you geneticists out there. When you're writing a computer to sequence genomes, probably write in the ability to identify two different ones.
Yeah. Because
I feel like that should have been caught by R&D.
I really, well, it's just Jeff Goldblum.
So I feel like it should have been caught by R&D.
Look, life finds a way.
It did.
And that way was Jeff not going, was there a fly in here?
Yeah.
I hear a buzzing.
Looking at the only window to see out in the whole pod for 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yep. Didn't hear that buzzing, even though it was the loudest fly. He almost deserves it at this point.
I imagine it was probably even louder in that pod.
But yeah, and then and
he calls up his old fling after 4 weeks, that's too long to wait. If you're gonna hit up somebody that you banged a couple times, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Less? Maybe I'm just too considerate. Either way, apparently she's been fucking hanging on the hook this whole time.
And with that phone call, like being like, it's gotten. He's like, oh man, it's
bad.
Yeah, it's real bad. I would get tested.
Yeah,
I would go right to the hospital, like take some blood, make sure there's no boogity booze in there that we should be.
Back to the fact that AIDS just happened to everyone.
Yeah, so get tested.
I'll come over in like an hour and a half. I just got to go do a blood test real quick to make sure you didn't give me what you have.
If you're gonna do a guy who looks like he's a meth head, get tested.
Just in general, it doesn't have to be fly meth.
And then right after that there's a scene with a donut, and something happens with a donut that's wildly inappropriate.
Yeah, he really lubes up that donut to eat it.
Yeah, he does with all of his what stomach acid, I guess.
Yeah, I can't remember what he calls it. It's like some kind of corrosive salivary something or other. He starts hitting you with the big science words on the old tape as he starts to deteriorate here.
Yeah, and I can only imagine that like that is what did his teeth dirty like that, because the acid melted his teeth.
Those poor fucking teeth, man. He had nice teeth.
Oh my god, they become like when your teeth aren't good anymore and they go to put the cap on it, they have to file your tooth down to to fucking shark teeth. Like
the fucking in what's the shit movie with Ice Cube where they go to Mars and it's a prison planet.
What is that movie?
Yeah.
But
I think it's got fucking Mars right in the title.
It might. I know which one you're talking about.
It's like Monsters from Mars or some shit like that.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Either way, yeah. They all filed their teeth down once they escaped the prison. And around this time is, so Veronica shows up. She's quite upset about how he looks.
Well, as you should be.
Let me tell you, this woman has the resilience and patience of a Buddhist monk.
Oh, yeah.
Because I slide that door open and I look that thing in the face. Guess what? Peace on that.
Yeah, not even that. He's like climbing down the wall like, Veronica!
Excitedly.
Yeah, look at what I can do.
Hey, man, I just found this out.
It very much reminds me of the scene from Family Guy with Kermit and Miss Piggy, and they're like looking at his offspring. And it's just like, kill me! Those are the vibes I get from looking at the Brundlefly.
Oh my god, dude. Brundlefly looks like a burn victim.
Brundlefly looks like he died and is rotting.
Yeah.
But his guts haven't figured it out yet.
It's just so everybody knows, he calls himself Brundlefly at this point.
Yeah, he does.
We didn't just come up with that.
Yeah, no, Brundlefly was his
in love with that.
And he's like, hey, I know what the disease wants. It's making me something. Well, what do you think? Like a 100-pound fly, 180-pound fly? Brundlefly!
Wouldn't that be nice to be a fly that big?
His
experiment was a success.
And the whole time, his fucking hands and arms look like waterlogged mittens.
Yeah, they look like he spent too much time in a swamp under a log.
Some fingers are stuck together, some fingers ain't. It's a whole thing.
He fucking throws up on the donut and doesn't have the wherewithal to be like, she probably didn't want to see that. Until she's horrified.
Yeah, he could have ate after she left. That's it's kind of rude to eat in front of company anyway.
Although you would like, I'm sure you noticed the whole time that he's still like relatively human. He's just fucking sucking back chocolate bars like it's Willy Wonka, the chocolate goddamn factory.
He gets those sugar cravings.
All about the chocolate bars.
And is that not a meth thing?
A sugar craving? It's more so a heroin thing.
Okay.
I don't know if it's blood sugar related or not.
I just know they always got like a bag of candy.
So I remember Jason Mewes of Jay and Silent Bob fame.
Yeah. Oh.
Clerks, Mallrats, etc. He had a very big heroin problem for a while. And so what he would do is he would get these giant jawbreakers, you know, the ones that are like rainbow inside?
Oh, yeah.
And he'd just suck on those all day. But because he's on heroin, obviously he falls asleep a lot.
Oh, no.
So now he didn't choke on it, which is impossible to fathom. Like, how wouldn't you? What instead would happen is he would drool out rainbow color from his mouth onto the couch he was sitting on and dye the couch like a fucking 70s hippie t-shirt.
That's almost worse.
Yeah. I don't know if I would love or hate that decor.
Oh, fuck. This hooker that he kidnapped, at this point, has she not reported any of this activity?
The weirdness that she experienced? Yeah.
Like, hey, this guy busted a dude's arm and tried to put me in a little room.
Yeah.
This is where he lives. He let me go, and I have his address, and I've seen his face.
Given the physical appearance of that prostitute, I can't imagine that would be the most upsetting call she got that night.
Fair.
That was probably like that was rough.
Yeah. All right. You know what? It was an industrial neighborhood, rough part of town.
Probably didn't deter her either.
Probably not the first warehouse party she was at today.
I was surprised she wasn't carrying mace to hit him when he was trying to force her into a pod.
Yeah, for real.
Fuck's sake.
I also noted he looks like rotting Popeye. Rotting Popeye.
That's fucking funny. The thing that he wants to do the most right now in this movie is make a kid's book about his experience, about what it's like to be a fly person. Yeah, great kids book. Be sure to film it for them.
Yeah, those illustrations better be detailed.
I bet you it's the kind of book that comes with a tape you can stick in the VCR and watch and traumatize your child into a heart attack immediately.
It's the kind of book that is just German fairy tales, but it's the ones that haven't been cleaned up.
Yeah, it's the originals from the fucking 600s when there was good reason to keep your kids inside out of fear because bears.
Yeah, it's just a lot of inside-out kids and witches. Yeah.
Stranger danger was like a really different problem.
It
like
was.
a couple hundred years ago.
Oh, yeah. Because if you were gone, that was that, and another one was made.
Exactly, yeah. It's been a week. Yeah, all right, get in there.
Get into the machine, which is just a pile of fucking hay where peasants do it.
Yeah, and the horses are shitting nearby.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's the hay.
Yeah.
They got to shit near what they eat, and you got to fuck on what they eat.
Yeah.
It's multi-purpose hay.
You're not supposed to shit where you eat. That's a very popular adage.
Well, you know what? We talked about that earlier. And I think we decided that more people need to be doing that.
Yeah.
I lost that conversation completely. That's where I arrived. I had a point, and the point has been dulled.
Kids book?
Yes. So the other thing he wanted to do was become a fucking insect politician.
Yeah, I'll be the first insect politician because insects are so emotionless and callous that we'll make great politicians.
Good luck with the votes. You know what? A dude ran for the president and he wore a boot on his head that one time. Remember him?
Vermin Supreme is his name.
And
that's his fucking name.
He didn't get it.
Not only did he run, he ran party affiliated as a libertarian.
Nice.
Which if libertarianism as like a governmental body, that being libertarianism is there should be no government.
But also, wasn't it everybody gets a pony?
And I'm sure that was in there.
I feel like he said everybody gets a pony.
Yeah, his version of it. Because I believe he's in the U.S. If I had lived in his state, he would be my state senator. I don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
You wear a boot, a fucking galosh on your head, one singular.
It was galosh too. It wasn't boot.
And like he looked like a homeless man. That's who I want running the country.
And like we're talking about this to avoid the real politics of this movie.
Well, we want to get into the heavy politics.
Hot button issues coming up that we are avoiding like lava.
Mm-hmm. So Veronica sees this monster that Seth has created from himself and an insect, and despite his excitement, is not herself excited by it.
No, and I mean, I get it. I do get it.
Now, I believe this is where this is where it gets dumb for me. Why are you going to the guy who's only interested in putting his penis inside of you?
Yeah.
For help and advice.
Because his first advice is just don't.
Yeah.
No, his first is like, tape it. Let me see that shit.
Yeah, I want to watch it myself.
And
then he's watching the Inner Place. Like, fuck, don't bring him back to your place.
Yeah, at that point, like, if you're bringing him back, you could have delivered that tape.
Yeah, you could have just slipped it under the door like he did with the fucking article.
And yeah.
And so, yeah, we get does that mean I can claim your body after all this is over? fuck. But as I believe he's watching this tape, she comes in quite upset.
Oh, she does. She does.
And why is that?
Well, it's because with any sex comes pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. Abstinence is the only true form of contraception.
She is with child.
Yeah.
She has conceived a
and
baby.
She's a little concerned.
Yes, well, as she should be, because did they bang before the fly thing or after the fly thing?
During.
Well, I mean, yeah, but is that the nut from before the fly thing or after the fly thing?
That's a great question.
Because before the fly thing, baby's probably fine.
Probably great genes.
Yeah. After the fly thing, well, she has a nightmare and it's horrible.
It's actually one of the more effective dream sequences that I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
In that it's been so long that I saw it, since I saw it rather, that I thought that that's what was happening in the movie.
Yeah, so did I, honestly. Well, because she's talking to this guy who cares very little about her and just wants to bang.
Kill it. It's basically his advice.
Yeah, and it seems like they waste zero time getting to the abortion clinic in this dream. So I was like, of course he wasted zero time. Mm-hmm. But it ends up, a dream sequence. And then I'm like, oh, well, was the pregnancy the dream? When did the dream start?
Yeah.
Because that's how they get you. So
we learn later on that the pregnancy is real, but the dream was not. However, in this dream sequence.
Oh, boy.
Now, this is a thing that in this movie about a man who becomes a fly slowly and grotesquely, having a woman second guessing her abortion on the way to the room, in the room, and while it's happening, so much so that she is screaming no, and they're just still going with it. That button is very hot.
Oh, is it ever?
Jeez Louise. And every guy in the room is like, it'll be fine. Don't let your feelings as a woman get in the way of what needs to happen.
Oh my God.
And so that's gross. Mm-hmm. But then even grosser, a giant larva comes right out of there.
And they dangle it in front of her as she screams.
As if you need to see it.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's wriggling.
And it's big, like...
It's a football.
If it were just a baby, it would be a very large baby.
But it ain't just a baby.
No.
It ain't just a baby.
As a delivery doctor or an abortion doctor, if I were conducting that procedure and that's what I came out with in my hands, I would go, "Don't look. You don't need to see this, ma'am.
You know what? It's fine. We got it.
No worries.
Caramba, I can see your apprehension."
Because the most tactless way of doing that is be like, "Look at how fucked up this is.
Yeah. Look at what came out of you. This is sins.
You're busted wide open now, given the girth of this thing."
Yeah, holy moly. It's like, honestly, it's like he holds up like a jam-packed, like $5 footlong. Not even, because a footlong's half.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worse. It's the whole submarine sandwich from Subway.
It sure is, dude.
And it's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank God that was just a goddamn dream sequence.
Yeah, man. It still gets weird with the whole baby.
Yes, it does.
More in an emotional way. And this is something that I couldn't remember how fucking, like, really, like, heartstringy and emotional this movie was near the end. It gets rather wholesome in a way.
It does a little bit.
It doesn't overshadow the grossness, but I was like, oh, there's feelings here, though.
There's a few.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few.
So that's sort of where it begins with this Veronica's struggle about whether or not she's going to have this kid. Goes to fucking Seth, can't tell him because he's horrifying.
Yeah, he is a monster. And
just fine.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to fucking talk to him for any longer than I had to either, because at this point his eyes are going in different directions.
Yeah, a lot of things are happening with his head, where he starts to look like the Toxic Avenger. Yeah,
I got that feeling too.
And like, I don't know how communication's working because his lips are basically just, they're fucking Carmen Electra's lips now. They're Pamela Anderson's lips. They're Kim Kardashian's lips.
Well, Kim, I think she's got big ones.
Exactly. Oh, they're super puffy.
Are they? All right, yeah, you're right. I think I'm picturing gums.
Yeah, that happens later.
Yeah.
Oh, there are. Yeah, because once his teeth fall out, obviously there's nothing but gum going on in there.
Yeah, I'm
They
picturing
seem to
those.
overcome that problem pretty fucking quickly, though. Yeah. So that happens, and then she leaves. She leaves, and Stathis is down there waiting to see what happens, or what happened rather. And she confesses that she loudly confesses that she couldn't tell him. And then, like a gargoyle, he's just on the roof listening.
Yeah. She's like, hey. Nah, I couldn't. But take me to that abortion doctor now.
Yeah.
I'd like to get the baby out. It would be
in the dead of night.
Yeah.
What journalist who owns a company just knows an abortion doctor is willing to come in at 1 a.m.?
I also was wondering as well, like he just has a guy on call.
Yeah.
Like Jeff's got his monkey man. This guy's got a get it out of there guy.
And and he was like, I don't know, it's pretty late.
Yeah.
And
let me see if he's up.
Yeah. And the nice thing being, it took some convincing from Veronica to just be like, yeah, I want this thing the fuck out of me now.
And in a strange turn of events, the doctor's like, are you sure? You know what? Come with me for a minute. Let me show you something.
Yeah.
Look he put it in me. Look at what put it in me. And I absolutely, let's go. I'm sorry, I was apprehensive about this.
I shouldn't have asked any questions.
This clearly isn't my choice. What are we doing here? So she's sitting in the room. Mm-hmm. This abortion room that has a window.
It does.
So you can look out.
A huge window.
And go, huh.
How visible is my puss currently?
Not even that, just what's happening shouldn't be visible.
Yeah, nah, and it's not ever.
Like, sure, it's like frosted glass or whatever. It's but
it doesn't help.
Again, with like the 13 ghosts, you get close enough, you can see what's going on in there.
See, I'm unmistakably gonna recognize a woman in stirrups.
It's got a shape. There's a shape to it.
It looks like just the letter I and V on top of each other.
It sure does. And you know the alphabet better than anybody.
I know it well. I'll tell you that much.
So yeah, she's just like kind of looking out this window, being like, abortions, and then here comes Jeff Goldblum to fucking get in the way of human rights,
like fucking Batman,
fucking in through the window.
Yeah,
and he just snatches her up.
Well, it's very obvious that he doesn't give a shit that much about humanity.
Yeah.
He doesn't get out much. He's willing to try and shove people into pods at his leisure.
Given the deleted scene you described to me, the given scenes, which shouldn't have been cut out.
Now let me...
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and just give people an example of the kind of person this fly transformation has turned Jeff into.
Neither of us this time around had a chance to look at the trivia.
Which is, we like to do from time to time because shoehorning fun facts in is fun.
On the old IMDb page there.
We'll get some fun facts for you.
However, I took a cursory glance, and I'll tell you right now, I shouldn't have. Right here, I believe it's either the second or third entry into the old trivia list. Hang on, I have to find it again. That was one that was scripted but never filmed about. The same thing. So part of it is the way that it's described is so fucking, they just fucking jump right into it. The infamous cat monkey scene where Brundlefly fuses a cat and the remaining baboon, the one that's not a meat puppet, and then beats it to death with a lead pipe.
As you do.
Was cut following a Toronto screening.
And I mean, why? I mean, sure. It's...
Keep it in the movie.
Yeah. People don't need to feel good about Jeff Goldblum becoming a monster. He's a monster.
Apparently, the audience at the Toronto screening felt it difficult to identify with the emotions that the character was having after they watched him commit animal abuse to death.
Yeah. Now, like, I don't like seeing cats... I don't really like seeing dogs get hurt.
Sure.
But you put it together with a monkey, that's not a cat anymore.
That's Frankenstein's army.
Just beat it. Beat it.
Hit it with the pipe.
I mean, I can't remember the rest of the lyrics to beat it, but
those are it. That's it. Yeah. No one wants to be defeated, I think.
There you go. So get that lead pipe. Get that monkey cat.
Get that lead pipe.
Get that monkey cat.
And then you do the moonwalk on top of its corpse.
Yeah, and then you beat it.
Now, I'm saying leave it in the movie because I wanted to see that fusion.
I did want to see, like, that would have added.
Are we talking half cat head, half monkey head, both heads? Where do you splice?
Yeah, I wanted more Brundlefly. I'm not like once he starts becoming a monster man, you don't really see what he's up to.
Yeah, Monster Man is good. At the end of the movie, the full transformation into a giant fly, best part of the movie for me.
Oh, beautiful.
Easily best grossest part. Actually, the finger thing is the grossest part. I'm not gonna lie about that.
There was also a scene where he's like eating from a dumpster and he gets interrupted by a bag lady who he then melts with spit.
With his vomit spit.
I want to see that. I want to see those disgusting practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
Show me that stop motion Play-Doh.
Mr. Cronenberg.
Let's go.
So, as you said, he gets right in the way of human rights and absconds with poor Veronica. And then he does another, like, fucking the King Kong shit where he just puts her in the rafters.
Yeah.
And fucks around more.
Yeah, he does.
Stathis shows up with a gun.
Oh my God, this fucking gun. The worst gun to bring to anything.
Yeah.
It's a over-under break action shotgun. First of all, brings it into the room, disassembled.
Yep. Like an idiot.
Puts it together right there.
You saw what just took the woman.
Yeah, so I'm going to go where he is, and hopefully he doesn't say he put this together real quick.
I'm just saying put the gun together before you had to come in.
Yeah, exactly. Second of all, it's a break action over-under shotgun.
Yep.
You get 2 shots.
Exactly.
Very cocky. You better be good with that first one because the second one is a double tap.
Yeah, you're not going to get the second tap out if you miss the first.
Yeah.
Not to mention, this guy climbs on walls and jumps across buildings like the Tick.
Yeah, he busted through those like huge thick glass square things like ain't nothing.
Like it's no problem at all. I would bring something with a few more bullets in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would bring maybe something a little more automatic.
Especially given the old method by which this happens. So before this shit goes down, the whole plan is explained to poor Veronica here.
Unfortunately.
Hey, I heard about the baby. I don't want you to have the abortion. Instead of having a very thoughtful and two-sided dialogue about whether or not to bring this child to term, despite the fact that we believe there is a possibility of deformity.
Yes.
I'm just going to put you together with me.
Yeah, you know what? Ultimate family. One big thing.
That worked so well the first time.
Baby, mommy, and me all together in the same body so that I don't have to look like this. I don't know how what that's going to look like is going to be any better.
No. As a matter of fact, given that a fly did this to me, it's probably going to be much worse.
So let's see 2 humans and an undeveloped fetus. Let's put that into the blender.
And then we can stare each other in the face until we die 20 seconds later.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So yeah, that's his big fucking plan. So I assume that like he was like, well, I got to test this out, and he threw the monkey and the cat in there to see what would happen.
Yeah.
And that's where that scene was.
So even if that was the case, right? If that's where that scene was, and like you still go through with that idea, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I saw what it did to the monkey and the cat. We'll be fine though.
I'm getting major Simpsons vibes again. Trios of Horror, the one where Bart's got an evil twin. Yeah. And he's like, look, I sewed all these animals together. Now I'm gonna do us.
It's like a rat bird.
Yeah, it is.
And it fucking the bird part flies away, hits a closed window, lands, and then the rat scurries off.
I think it goes to get into a hole in the wall, and bumps the bird.
That's exactly what happens.
Oh my God.
So that's what you have to expect if you try to splice 3 people into one.
Yeah, exactly.
That would come out a messy blob of shit. There's no other way to describe that.
For real. He's got to have fly brain because...
Yeah, it must be fly brain.
I'm not a genius, but I'm thinking about it, and that seems like something you're going to have to put down.
Yeah. With a gun.
Yeah, and you better have a third shot because there's...
At least.
Now there's a baby, a mommy, and a daddy.
You want to hit each head.
Very fucking
Color Out of Space.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, he's got this over-under shotgun, and he's just walking around.
Very carefully walking in a silent room, which, I mean, if all you have is 2 shots and they're with a shotgun, make noise.
Yeah, you might as well.
Bring the things to me so I can see them with this gun.
Yeah, and I think it's at this point, Jeff Goldfly, he's got the teleporters all fired up. And he's thrown Veronica like she's a bag of trash.
Just chucks her in it with no remorse.
Like, again, when did becoming a fly man give you the strength of 1,000 flies and men?
Yeah, he does explain like the brain part of it a little bit. He's talking about like impulsivity and how insects only care about themselves and they don't have compassion and all this shit.
Yeah.
Get inside my body, then.
I imagine that's the noise.
Yeah,
the whole thing's just going to be making...
I'll filter feed the compassion like a fucking whale shark.
So yeah, he's got her in there. And then fucking the boss comes out with this shotgun, and Jeff Goldblum makes this monster screech as he dives onto him.
Like a banshee in the night.
And he does the most horrible thing. Horrible, the worst thing imaginable you could do to somebody, being a fly person.
On a lot of levels, and like really just a dick move.
Yeah.
So he fucking vomit melts his hand and then holds it up in his face like, look at this, you piece of shit. This is what I did to you now.
Yeah, he does.
Watch it melt with me.
Yeah, he does.
And like intense eye contact the whole time.
And then he gets his ankle for no reason.
Yeah, he's just for good measure
just
on that.
Throwing up like,
You go blah on your leg too, bitch. This is my house.
Yeah, so he does that horrible thing, and you watch his hand melt away.
And then Stathis passes out, which I don't know what else you would do in that situation. I agree with that.
Yeah,
pass right out on that.
Good lord. So yeah, he throws her in. And then Stathis wakes up and gets one shot off. And he shoots the right cable.
He just happens to shoot the right cable.
Yep.
There were a bunch of other options.
Yep.
Don't shoot the cable that connects the 2 telepods. Shoot wherever they're getting electricity from, number 1.
There you go.
Shoot the glass out of the pod so that Gina can fucking leave the place.
Hey, that's another good option.
Instead of rolling the dice on a dozen black wires that all look the exact same.
Hey, well, you know what? He came out on top.
Yeah, well, it fucking worked out well for him.
Dealer's bust, everybody wins.
Now, this is all you see of full Brundlefly. He gets in the fucking 3rd pod that he has ready for this 3-way splice and comes out half pod because of the malfunction.
Oh, wait, we forgot about the transformation.
Yeah.
Before that.
So that's the best part of this movie is when you see... you remember in Nightmare on Elm Street, I think it's either 2 or 3, where the guy is being possessed by Freddy slowly. And there's a part where he's like up against a wall and Freddy comes out of his chest. And he just sheds a whole man like it's nothing and he's Freddy now.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens, except what comes out is a fly.
It's awful.
It's so good, though.
You watch Jeff Goldblum's face split apart, and then just a big old fly head pop through. Like, hey, it's like Porky Pig at the end of fucking Looney Tunes.
Fucking arm flesh comes off. The feet split open.
Yeah, they do.
And there's better feet underneath.
Ugh.
If you consider those better, I mean, do.
What he had wasn't much to work with.
No.
So.
And the biggest, blackest eyes that blink the most in the whole movie.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's when he gets his blinking in.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets like half out of this teleporter and then it teleports.
Yeah. And he just flops like a wet, dead fish onto the ground.
Yeah.
Half metal and tubing.
Oh my God. There's a good like maybe a minute where you're like, oh, he's gone. That's it.
Yeah.
And then the machine fires up and he comes in and he teleports back.
In the most spectacular. Yeah. So fucking Veronica's worried about Stathis, trying to get Stathis standing on the 1 foot he has left.
Yeah.
And then fucking here comes Pod Brundlefly crawling along the ground, essentially with his eyes screaming, "Kill me."
Yeah. Oh, she like has the shotgun and he grabs it and puts it to his own fucking temple.
The most baller move ever.
Yeah. And then she's like, no, I can't. Takes a step back and bullseyes him. I don't even think she thinks twice. She's just like, no.
Murder
Okay, maybe.
me,
and just bullseyes him with precision.
Yeah, blows his head into several pieces.
Oh my God.
Wonderfully. And then the best part, the fucking movie just ends.
Does it ever?
That's it. Hard credits. All right.
So, I think there's a Fly 2. I think there is. Okay. Jeff Goldblum obviously isn't in it.
There's no way he's in it, yeah.
But I think there is a number 2.
I do believe I have seen it in a poster or something.
I think it's got something to do with the... I just slapped my gut like I had a pregnant belly.
Oh, the baby.
Yeah, the baby.
Oh, sick.
The baby.
I hope that baby's half fucking fly just forever.
Yeah, I hope its jaw falls right off.
That is something that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that jaw came right off, didn't it?
And it's just fucking insect tongue underneath.
Yeah.
Proboscis.
Beautiful. Thank you, Cronenberg.
Yeah. So that's The Fly.
Yeah.
That was my notebook hurtling to the ground.
I think Matt had 9.5 pages, 8.5.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just kept writing, and the movie
by
just
a hard 4 on that.
It just kept happening. I write big. I write like a 7-year-old. So sometimes I don't follow lines.
What I did write down, this movie is a remake.
Is it?
From a movie that was done in 1958. So safe to say this is the better version.
Oh, obviously.
In one of the
interesting
rare occasions where a remake is better than the original.
I knew it was a remake, but I figured that it was remade and it was so shitty that it just this is The Fly.
Yeah, this is the one.
This is The Fly you know about.
As far as I'm concerned, it is.
Yeah, I really don't think we need to watch that one from the 50s, but if the well runs dry, we got The Fly.
And I think it's got the woman from the beginning of Psycho in it, so there's that.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So that's The Fly. You didn't need to watch it, but we just stretched it out
for 2 hours.
Almost an hour longer than the actual movie. So
fine.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Happy to talk about The Fly for that long.
What's your rating?
My rating on this movie is a good 8. Only because I wanted more Brundlefly.
Okay.
I wanted more full fly.
You know what? I gave it an 8 as well because I really enjoyed the practical effects.
Yes.
But then apparently there's this fly footage of just this guy running around the streets melting old ladies. Bumped it down to a 7.5.
Okay.
I would have liked to have seen that.
That 0.5 is because you want to see this bag lady get melted.
I would have liked to have seen, because it does at some point become more about her and her boss than Brundlefly.
Yeah.
You don't see a whole lot of him.
Yeah. It doesn't... They wrote somewhat unnecessarily Stathis as like just the biggest fucking piece of shit on the planet.
Yeah, they did.
And then they gave like Gina Davis like a ton of just exposure to him. He sucks. All he wants to do is fuck me all the time. He's yelling about other people's dicks in stores when I'm trying to buy clothes. We're gonna hang out still, though.
Yeah, I mean, he was funny.
All I'm saying to Gina Davis in this movie is have more than one friend.
Yeah.
And don't have that friend be your boss also.
Don't go to your ex for advice. How's that?
Oh, just good advice for across the board.
Yeah. If it's your ex, get your key back.
Mm-hmm. If it's that kind of ex, 100%.
If it's that kind of ex, throw a toaster in the shower next time.
Yeah. Burn an effigy on his front lawn. Something like that. So 8 and 7.5 for this.
8 and 7.5.
You know, after the fucking 3 and 4 from the Human Centipede, I'm glad we watched an actual fucking movie for once.
You know, it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I went into it being like it's going to be one of those movies from the 80s where you're like, ugh. But
no, there was a lot.
Well
shot. The soundtrack was like appropriate.
Yeah.
It was sick. It was very 80s, which I appreciated. Not too much like techno shit also. It's like decent.
And then you got Jeff Goldblum, which I think we need more Jeff Goldblum.
I would say, yeah.
We need more.
It's just tough. He's not in too many horror movies.
Yeah, I wish Jurassic Park was a little more scary. But it ain't.
For anybody over the age of 7.
Yeah.
So, it's my turn to choose a movie here.
Okay.
Thematically, I went with... first of all, we got a relationship with somebody who turns into a monster.
Oh, shit.
Unsanitary lab conditions.
Oh, shit.
Assimilation of human DNA, so like human-monster hybrids.
Oh, shit.
And unhinged scientists. And then also, just for good measure, I put in insects.
Okay.
So, We have 3 movies here for you to choose from.
Okay.
One is a straight human monster hybrid.
Okay.
Animals kill people and then use them. Okay. I'm trying to keep it super vague.
Mm-hmm.
We have one that is a little bit more sci-fi, again, about science turning a person into a monster.
Okay.
And that's more in the killer genre. And then we have one about insects that become part of a human.
Okay. I think I know 2 of these ones.
You may.
I think I know 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with the first option because I think I know the second 2.
Okay. So the first option you chose was animals that kill people and then use them.
Yes.
And that is Splinter.
Splinter.
And I don't think you'll have seen it.
No, it doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you'll like it though, because we're doing a practical effects thing right now, and it's very much that.
Oh, well, I'm in. Practical effects, I'm always in.
It almost entirely takes place at a gas station.
Slick. All right.
The other 2 options were a found footage movie called The Bay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I thought, but that would have been a good one.
Mm-hmm. And the other one was Jason X. And that was your lottery win. I gave you 1.
No, we could have. Damn
we
it.
We could have watched Jason X. This is the second time in a row that you've boned yourself.
I thought it was going to be Hollow Man.
I didn't even think about I consider that more of an action thriller, though.
As soon as you said, like, science turning somebody into a killer, I was like, Hollow Man?
Jason X, Nanotable.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's probably one of the best Friday the 13th because it's so damn silly.
Fucking hilarious, dude.
That's got one of my favorite deaths in it, too, where the guy falls onto the huge corkscrew and just goes...
Yeah.
Down
or the nitrous oxide. I can't talk too much about it because you're gonna fucking watch it eventually.
Oh, we are. I'll fucking shoehorn it in next time.
Yeah, you will.
All right. Well, that was a good podcast.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have anything you want to end it with?
darkroastcult.com. Also, my penis. You'll probably hear those creaks right on those creaks and coughs right on the fucking, like you're an old man.
The worst fucking sound imaginable.
Trying to pull the leaf out of your dinner table because your grandchildren are coming over for Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's always Thanksgiving. Why don't we just leave the leaf in?
Yeah, who cares about your table being a little bit wider? So fucking, where even was I? Jeff Goldblum. Oh yeah, okay.